let's talk. Let's talk 2022 World Cup qualifiers. But before we do, I actually need to tune into this Argentina Venezuela game because I was supposed to actually tune into that game. So I want to have that game in the background here. And as we talk World Cup qualifiers, that game would be over there, on mute. You know what I'm saying? Because even though it's a dead rubber, still. See what I'm saying? Still. You know what I mean? Jose Peckerman versus Lionel Scaloni and co. So we are live. We are live. And we are ready. I actually got my boy Liam sleeping over there. He's not feeling too well. He got a cold. So I give him some medicine and he's like knocked out. So we ain't got to worry about him right now. He might actually wake up. So I have to go check on him from time to time. So I might have to pick him up and bring him over here so that we could actually have a good discussion today. Guys, I'm your boy Dominic Rich. We are back. This will be another epic one. It's crunch time. We know a few more teams that have qualified for the World Cup. We are going to get into that. And there's still a few more spots up for grabs. How's everybody doing, man? Big up to Love Boy, Inferno Surfer, C4 goes, boom. Big up to the boy Josh in the house. How are you feeling, Josh? Mustafa. Everybody in here, man. Guys, make sure you smash the thumbs up button for the video. Let's get into this discussion. Let's make sure we talk all the matches that were played. And I would even like to look at some of the friendlies that were played. I didn't watch any friendlies nor watch highlights or anything. But yeah. Big up to the boy Adam the Great, man. How are you feeling? Big up to El Don in the house. Palomo. Everybody, man. These qualifiers are next level, bro. Of course. And it's a great thing that I've been talking about these qualifiers from since the get-go. So not every single one of them, but most of them from the get-go, preliminaries and all of that. So we're going to get into that right about now. So without further ado, let's start and let's talk about the AFC Football Confederation, okay? So we know the AFC do have 4 direct places. 2 groups of 6, first and second, will qualify directly. And we know the teams that will qualify directly as well, where we have 2 groups. Let me go right down to the groups and we will touch on that. But first, let me just get the round first. Let me get the round. Round 3. And we're going to scroll down here. And we have 2 groups. Groups A and Group B. Korea Republic and Iran have officially qualified for the World Cup. So let's take a little moment out of our day to give a big round of applause. Pause the music a bit there. Let's pause that. Big round of applause to Korea Republic and Iran, who are making it back to the World Cup after doing so in 2018 Russia. The UAE and Iraq are still alive in terms of the playoff. Lebanon still in with a very slight chance, but they would need to win big in order to get that, and that's not happening. So it's between the UAE and Iraq for that playoff spot. And I think these teams play each other, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just, no. The UAE, the UAE plays Korea Republic. They're losing that game. Let me just start by saying that they are losing that game. So Iraq do have a big chance, but it's against a Syrian team who are very spirited coming off of a big win. Both teams coming off of wins, and it's going to be a very, very good contest. So forget about all the other games. Look, Saudi Arabia, Australia, don't even watch that. You see what I'm saying? Saudi Arabia and Japan, as we should know by now, have officially qualified for the World Cup. And I will do a little piece on both teams when I do get to the matches and everything. But Australia, Saudi Arabia, that's formality. That's to see who's going to come in first or second in the group. Japan, I think, will definitely go on to top the group. The way they are playing, they're not losing anymore. They did lose twice, and that's not happening anymore in my opinion. So congratulations to Japan and Saudi Arabia, and hard luck to Australia, who have to go through the playoffs again. And I always say this, the Australians love to do things the hard way, and they would face either the UAE or Iraq in that playoff final, and it's not going to be easy. And then the winner of this fourth round playoff will go on to face one of Chile, Colombia, or who's the other team still in contention? Peru. So it's going to be a very, very tough road to Qatar for Australia if they are going to make it. Let me say this right now. I think I did predict them to qualify directly ahead of Saudi Arabia initially. I don't know if Australia is going to qualify. Big up to all my Australian peeps, but it ain't looking good right now. It ain't looking good. Not enough talismanic players in the team who could do something special against the likes of one of them South American teams. Maybe you'll get past a UAE or Iraq, but to get past one of those CONMEBOL teams, it's going to be very difficult, man. It is going to be very, very difficult. So let's just look into these matches that were played a few days ago, and let's just talk briefly. So Australia 0, I almost said 2. Australia 0, Japan 2, with Kaori Mitoma scoring a brace in the 89th minute and another goal in the 94th minute. And I'm telling you, these are his first 2 goals for the Japanese international team. This guy is a live wire. The first goal, the build-up was spectacular. Spectacular to say the least. And the second goal, the way he accelerated from a standstill, oh man, to get around the Australian defense and cut in and shoot, that was a brilliant goal, man. So these goals will be remembered for the rest of time itself, as it will go down as the goals that secure Japan their place at Qatar 2022. So congratulations to Japan. They have been brilliant over the years, but they did have a stutter at the beginning of World Cup qualifiers where they did lose to Oman. And I was thinking, damn, things could get ugly here for Japan during World Cup qualifiers. But after the loss to Oman, they did bounce back against China. But then on match day 3, they lost to Saudi Arabia. So it was a very, very rough start to things for Moriyasu and his men. And listen, I had no doubts about this Japanese team. Full of talent all over the field in all departments. And they have a lot of the players that were at the 2018 World Cup, and we know how good they were at the 2018 World Cup. And I didn't know they would have, started so rough. I need to drink some water. But they bounced back brilliantly. And since those opening 3 games where Japan lost 2 of those, they bounced back remarkably. I'm telling you, remarkably, by winning every single game since then. That's brilliant. And when I say every game, I mean they have won 6 games on the bounce after their opening 3-game stutter. So brilliant stuff by Moriyasu and his boys. And I just love their slick way of playing. Their style of play just so slick. They pass the ball well. They very good in defense as well. Because if you check their record, in the last 6 games, they have only conceded once. Once during that run. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The likes of Minamino. The likes of Nagatomo, who's been around for ages. But the player that have really stand out for me is Junya Ito. That player have provided Japan with a spark. he have definitely provided Japan with a spark. And there's players like Ao Tanaka, there's Maya Yoshida, Ko Itakura, and I think Junya Ito and Ko Itakura were part of, they were bought by Manchester City, part of the whole City group thing. Never played for City, but, you know, these guys, talented. No wonder they, you know, picked up by Manchester City and loaned out. I would love if Junya Ito would have gone on to play for City like a squad player. He's currently playing for Genk in the Belgian league. But I think I'm actually wrong with Junya Ito. It's Ko Itakura. It's Ko Itakura and not Junya Ito. But Ito, he's a quality player. He's a quality player. So I got a little carried away with the Ito thing. But I think it's Itakura is that player. Let me just verify that and make sure I'm not talking. Yeah. So Itakura was bought by Manchester City and he's now on loan at Schalke. So the Ito thing, you know, what a bummer. What a bummer, because he's a bright player. He's 29 years old these days, so I don't think he would have stand a chance of even featuring for City. You know, like how Liverpool got Minamino. You know, City would have got their own little Japanese squad player. Ain't happening at all. But a quality performance nevertheless. But you got to give credit to Australia as well for holding them for 89 minutes. And Australia did have chances of their own where they failed to capitalize on. So you got to give Japan the credit, as I mentioned. They will qualify for another. They have qualified for another World Cup. And for Australia, their qualification status is, you know, still up in the air. And as I mentioned earlier, I don't think Australia are going to make it this time around. I did predict them initially to do so, but I think that's a prediction I'm actually going to get wrong. I'm actually positive about that. I know it's a bummer for the Australian fans, but they're lacking that cutting edge, in my opinion. And if they would have to play out of their skins if they're gonna pull this off. And Graham Arnold and his boys, they got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of work to do, man, when it comes to the playoffs. I think the playoffs are in June, if I'm not mistaken. And these are going to be one-off games. So it's not like you get to play the team on the road, get a scrappy result, and then go to Australia and then get the home advantage. These are going to be one-off games from the last time I checked. So, yeah. It ain't looking good for Australia at all. So we're not going to linger too much on that. Congratulations to Japan on qualifying for the World Cup. For them, the final game of World Cup qualifiers will be against Vietnam next Tuesday. And they will rotate. And I'm pretty sure they're going to do enough to win that game still, even though Vietnam have been putting out some quality performances as of late. So I like to take the time to big up to everybody in the chat right about now. Make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. Let me know your thoughts on the Japanese national team and your thoughts on if Australia would actually qualify. So Captain Kid 220 is saying, I can't imagine a better first goal for your nation. Yeah, man, I know. And he's saying that Moriyasu still needs to be sacked, though. I think he did a great job, though. I don't think, if you sack him, what are you going to... I don't know. I think he's done an okay job, and he's done well enough to pull things back. So big up to the boy Alejandro Loaiza. You see, I got it right, bro. I got it right. I predicted Ecuador to qualify for the World Cup, and guess what? They qualified. Even though they weren't so impressive at the back end of things. Yeah, man. So Mr. Boom says, yep, Samurai Blue is a lock to the top the group. Brilliant stuff indeed. Big up to MVP Kev, who says, I think Australia aren't going to make it. Paloma says Australia to beat CONMEBOL 5th place. Yeah, thanks for your opinion, but I don't think that's going to happen, bro. Don't think that's going to happen. So Pachara saying, Dom, can you tell me how England not win the Euros after seeing Italy now? Yeah, England should have went on to win the Euros. I think I predicted England to win the Euros, but they messed it up, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Yeah. That was what? Jadon Sancho and Saka and them kids took the penalties, right? That was what happened, right? Seems like so long ago. I can't even remember exactly what happened in that final, though. But, yeah, we know England didn't win. So, Josh, would love to see South Korea or Japan get out of the groups in the World Cup. Remember the last World Cup, Japan did get out the group and almost beat Belgium. That was a round of 16 where they almost beat Belgium. And Belgium came back from, I think, 2-0 down. 2-0 down. And then Belgium played Brazil in the quarterfinals and then got knocked out by France in the semis. So, yeah, I covered that World Cup as well. So I've been around for a while. I've been around 5 years doing this YouTube thing, man. You know, so a lot of games I've watched over the years. I wonder how many games I've watched over the years, man. It's been a lot. So we are going to move on. Australia is still alive, but Japan have definitely qualified for the World Cup. So we're going to go back to the third round. It's very clunky website. I always talk about this website, but it's the truth. And we're going to click on the next game and then we're going to keep it moving. So Korea Republic 2, Iran 2. So for this game, the two teams had already qualified for the World Cup and the top spot in the group is still up for grabs. But Korea Republic, who was second going into this game, are looking like they are about to top this one where they face the UAE in the final game. And for Iran, they will take on Lebanon, who is still in with an outside chance, seeing that the UAE may definitely lose their game to South Korea. So in this group, there's the UAE and Iraq and Lebanon fighting for that playoff spot. Lebanon has to win, and with that win, they definitely got to improve their goal difference and hope that the UAE lose their game and their goal difference is worse than theirs, right? I think goal difference is the separator here. And for Iraq, if they do get a point in their game against Syria, it won't be enough for them to qualify. They do need, even if they get a point and the UAE lose their game, it won't be enough because of goal difference. But Iraq, if they win their game and the UAE draw or lose to South Korea, then Iraq, who did qualify for the World Cup in 1986, Mexico, will get a chance to play Australia and then go into the Intercontinental or Confederation playoff to face one of Peru, Colombia, or Chile. So that's what it's looking like there in this group. But Korea Republic 2, Iran 0. Son Heung-min with a screamer in the second minute of the first half extra time. And Kim Yong-gwan, the defender, coming up for a tap-in. It was pretty one-sided. Iran did not play well. They didn't play well. And maybe it's because they have already qualified and they are looking to tinker with things and, try some fresh players. A few players made their debut and all of that. And they just try a little thing, you know what I'm saying? Just try a little something. They qualified already, so it's not really a big deal. But kudos to South Korea, who went out there and took the game very, very serious. And they were very good. Very, very good. Can't remember every single thing that happened in all these games, guys. There's a lot of games. But I remember the goals. I do remember the goals. Iran did carve out a few chances of their own, but nothing good enough to beat the goalkeeper. 7 shots, 1 on target, 42% of the ball, while South Korea dominated with 13 shots, 5 on target, 58% of the ball. While actually looking up a player, I found out something really interesting that I didn't know. There was a player who used to play for Freiburg and Dijon, a Korean player by the name of Kwon Chang-hoon. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that player. But while doing a bit of digging, actually when he came off, the field as a substitute, he was substituted, he gave a salute. And I was like, it sparked some curiosity. And I did some research. And I found out that this player is actually on loan at a club in South Korea by the name of Gimcheon Sangmu FC. And that club is a club in the first division of Korean football where you could actually go and play for 2 years and it would actually count as you doing your military duty. Because every young man in South Korea, able-bodied young man, of course, they have to do their military duty. Remember, Son, I think he played the Olympics or something, and that counted as his military duty. So this player went to play for that team on loan. The team only consists of players on loan from other clubs. They go to the club for 2 years. They play for the club for 2 years on loan, and that club isn't allowed to buy any foreign players. So it's all local players, go there for 2 years for military duty only. That is sick. That is crazy. That is crazy. One of the weirdest clubs, but very, very interesting to say the least. So that's just a little tidbit for you there. But Paulo Bento and his boys will be going to Qatar. And you could remember in 2018 that this very South Korean team prevented the German national team, who came into the tournament as champions, from moving out of the group. Brilliant stuff. Late winners there for South Korea to break the hearts of the Germans. As for Dragan Skokic and Iran, this does not really look like a team that's going to get out of the group, in my opinion. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Japan and South Korea, in my opinion, they do have outside chances of getting out their groups because they play some very attractive football. The way they move the ball, very slick, fast, and decisive. They're very, very attractive teams to watch play. And, you need that when you're coming up against very strong European oppositions, the South American oppositions, the African and the CONCACAF oppositions as well. So don't write off the likes of Japan and South Korea getting out their group. So yeah, one second guys. All right, back on daddy duties, guys. Let me lower the chair and get comfy. It's okay, baby, it's okay. So yeah, back to the World Cup talk. Yeah, man. Multitasking, guys. I want to do so much, but when you're a dad and you got to take care of your kids, that comes first. So I could come and chop it up with you guys about World Cup qualifiers and all, but yeah, I'm pretty occupied. So you could see the sacrifice right now. So if you haven't yet liked the video, make sure you like up the blood clip video and stop playing, okay? You're playing games. But anyways, man, congrats to South Korea or the Korea Republic, and congrats to Iran or the Islamic Republic of Iran for on them making it back to the World Cup. So the 4 teams that have qualified directly all made it to the 2018 World Cup and have made it back. And that's one thing about the Asian Confederation that could be pretty boring, is that you don't really get a lot of new teams. You see what I'm saying? And I'm hoping maybe just for the sake of getting a new team in the mix, maybe Iraq causing somewhat of an upset over Australia. Iraq are no slouches. They qualified for the World Cup before. They were Asian Cup winners, I think 2007 or 2008. So they know their way around achieving things. So don't take them lightly. But definitely we're going to keep it moving. We got a lot to talk about, so I'm not going to linger any longer on this match there. So let's bring it back and let's go on to the next game. We're going to run through these other games, of course, but I'm going to make sure I give a good account for all the matches and for all the confederations. So let's go on to the next game, and that game would be Oman 1, Vietnam 0. So this game was pretty much a dead rubber, regularity, and Oman won it with Khalid Al Hadri. That was a header in the 65th minute, and that was the game's only goal. But I have to say that Vietnam really put out a good performance, man. They really played well. They really went out there and played some good football. And this is the first time that they're making it to this phase of World Cup qualifiers. So what does that tell you? That tells you that the future of Vietnamese football is very, very, very bright. It is very, very, very bright. And yeah, big up to Mustafa, man. The boy Liam, you know what I mean? Pretty in his youthful days, of course. You know what I'm saying? Don't know what happened when he gets older. You know what I mean? Azam, thank you very much there. Thank you very much. And yes, I'm going to talk African World Cup qualifiers as well. So stick around. We're going to touch on everything, okay? So, look, going back to Vietnam, I think they have done a stellar job in World Cup qualifiers, and they got to hold their heads high. They will qualify. They have qualified for the 2023 Asian Cup, so that's another tournament they would look forward to. And in the last match, they beat China 3-1. I did predict them to pick up their first points against China with a draw, but they did better and they picked up a win. They have lost 7 games out of 9, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Well, 8 actually. I think they have lost 8 games out of 9 and won 1. And, you know, they haven't done too badly when you compare them, the goals, and, you know, they've scored and the goals they've conceded with the likes of China and Oman to a lesser extent. They haven't done too badly at all. And they would just have to continue to work strength by strength, and next time around, you know what I mean? Next World Cup cycle, there'll be more teams from Asia qualifying, and there's going to be a playoff tournament for the final few places. So Vietnam, you never know. They could continue to dream. They could definitely continue to dream, because they didn't play badly at all. Guys, they were a nuisance to their opponents throughout the qualifiers. Definitely have been. So give it up to Vietnam, man. Give it up to Vietnam. That's, you know, that's the best thing I could say. I'm all positive when it comes to Vietnam. And I think Park Han-seo has done a very, very good job. I don't know if he's going to stay on as the coach, but let's see. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. I think they actually deserve something from this game against Oman. For Oman, guys, I actually thought they would have challenged a bit more in terms of the playoff spot, seeing how they started positively by picking up that win against Japan. After that, they kind of fell to the wayside somewhat, and pretty disappointing in the end. Pretty disappointed. They started off by let me just find the World Cup Okay, so they did start it off with a loss there to Australia. Then they beat Vietnam. And then, I think, am I looking at the right round here? I know they beat Japan, but I just want to make sure I get the right round, the third round. So in the third round, they lost to Saudi Arabia. They lost to Australia. But then, after those 2 losses, they bounced back with a win against Vietnam, a draw against China, and the win against Japan. So that period right there between October and November, very, very good period there for Oman. And I thought they would have actually challenged. And then they were the team that actually messed up Australia's World Cup qualifying campaign with that 2-2 draw in February. So let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. And now they do have a win. So a draw and a win there. Not a bad World Cup performance there for qualifying performance there by Oman at all. You see what I'm saying? Oh, man. Not bad at all, man. Not bad. They're currently only 4 points behind Australia. They can finish ahead of Australia. But I think, you know, if it was a situation where they had, let's say, enough points that maybe with a win they could pass Australia. They play China on the last day. Australia play Saudi Arabia. I think they would have pulled that off. But it's too late, and for them it has to be 2026 also. Definitely 2026. So not a bad team at all, and I could actually see them qualifying for 2026, like an outside chance. Branko Ivankovic is their current head coach. He's 68 years old, so he's probably going to be moved on eventually. And look, they had an Asian Cup coming up. They recently won a Golf Cup a couple years ago. They're not a bad team. Not a bad team at all. But all the best. All the best to Oman. We're going to keep it moving. Definitely going to keep it moving. Guys, make sure you smash the thumbs up button for the video. Do appreciate it. You know, on a Friday night here talking World Cup qualifiers with my peeps. Look, listen. There's only a few things I would have rather be doing right now than this. Yeah. I'm not gonna say there's nothing else I would rather be doing right now, but you know what I'm saying. But still, only a few things. Only a few things. So yeah, man. Let's talk. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. And this is just a warm up, guys. We got a lot more to talk about. Okay. We're halfway through the Asian games. We won't be spending forever on each match, of course. So we're going to move on to another one here. This was a big game. Lebanon 0, Syria 3. Because Lebanon and Syria are both fighting for that playoff spot. And for Lebanon, being at home, if they had picked up a win here, they would have put some serious pressure. I mean some serious pressure on the UAE. But because they lost the game, I think that's it. I think that's it for Lebanon. I think this loss have definitely knocked the stuffing out of them. And that would be it for their World Cup campaign. But they are another team that will have to look towards 2026. As for Syria, they're a team that did well in 2018. They got knocked out by Australia in the playoff. And they were very, very close to a match against Honduras. You see what I'm saying? CONCACAF team. But they lost to Australia. And they find themselves in a situation where they, in the second round, they were brilliant. But in this third round, not good at all. Very, very disappointing. Very, very, very disappointing showing here by Syria in the third round, where they only currently have 6 points. No, 5 points. Pardon me. 5 points. 5 points. Right? So, did I say... Okay, I made an error. Syria actually came into the match not having a chance. Pardon me there. It was Lebanon, right? Lebanon came into the match, needed to win. Okay? Let me make sure I don't, let me correct myself before I go further. Big game in that Lebanon came in needing to win. Syria had nothing really to play for. They didn't really have anything to play for. They did well in 2018, and for 2022, nothing. Nothing. Sometimes you start talking and you get a little carried away, you know what I mean? So let me just stop myself right there. Let me just hold your brakes. Let me just hold up right there. Okay, so yeah, Syria had a good second round, but in the third round, very, very poor. Very poor. And before that win, it was 2 draws, all World Cup qualifying campaign. Not good enough. For Lebanon, 3 draws and a win. So with that 6 points, they needed to pick up that win against Syria, which is probably very unlikely seeing that they haven't been winning games. And that win would have taken them up to 9 points with with the UAE drawing, and the fact that the UAE do have Korea Republic to play on the final day. And for Lebanon, they have Iran, who have already qualified. They could have squeezed out a draw where maybe UAE go on to lose to a strong South Korea team. So they blew it. They really blew their chances, and I think that will be it for their World Cup qualifying campaign. So Syria going down and pulling down Lebanon with them, basically. So in this game, Allah, Al-Dali, Madek, Markian, and Mohammed Al-Mamour scored 3 first half goals. Very slick play and very good goals as well. I think one of these were a penalty as well, if I'm not mistaken. And quality performance in the first half there by Syria. And they held on. Lebanon did have a strong second half, I have to say. But it was too late, man. You're 3-0 down. You're not going to pull off a FIFA career mode miracle here. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. So for both teams, very disappointing World Cup qualifying campaign. They have to look for 2026. And for them, a positive would be they made it to the 2023 Asian Cup that will be hosted by China. I don't know if China could actually host that, seeing all the COVID problems they got going on in that country. I don't know if they're gonna actually have that under control next year. Who knows, man? Miraculously, maybe they'll pull it off. So we're gonna keep it moving, guys. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button for the video, and I gotta make sure I don't get carried away and start, you know what I mean, mixing up these things, because it's very, very, very easy to mix these things up. Very, very easy, man. You know what I mean? Because there's so many games to talk about, and sometimes for some of these lesser known teams, sometimes you get, mixed up. You know what I mean? Just got to keep it real. You know what I mean? I'm only human. So we're going to keep it moving. We're going to move on to the 5th game here. And the game that we're going to talk about is the game between China's People Republic and Saudi Arabia. Look, good on China to pick up the draw here. Saleh Al-Shari has been scoring, a lot of goals for the Saudi national team. Very prolific forward there. Scored in the 45th minute there. And then Zhu Changjie in the 82nd minute too. I think give China a well-deserved point there. Well-deserved point. But for Hervé Renard's men, it seems as if the goals just dried up. They started proceedings in World Cup qualifying, the 3rd round, very well. Beat Vietnam, beat Oman, beat Japan, beat China. Then, after the draw against Australia in November, things started to take a turn. They still qualified, but things just went downhill a bit. They beat Vietnam 1-0. Then they beat Oman 1-0, but lost to Japan, and then they drew to China. So still a very strong World Cup qualifying campaign for the Green Falcons, but I think they should have finished a bit stronger, and they were ahead of Japan, and it seems as if they're going to finish 2nd behind Japan. In other news, guys, Argentina have scored against Venezuela to take the lead, 1-0. And that's I can't even, who is that? Number 15 for Argentina have scored. So 1-0 to Argentina there. That's Nico Gonzalez, I think, have opened the scoring. So yeah, man. So Saudi Arabia, guys, I did not predict Saudi Arabia to qualify for the World Cup. I didn't predict them to qualify for the World Cup, but they did. So I like to take the time to apologize to Saudi Arabia. I called it wrong. I got it wrong. And you guys prove me wrong. Congratulations to Saudi Arabia. Okay? You proved me wrong indeed. You started well with guys like Fahad Al-Muallad. You had Salman Al Faraj, the regulars, the regulars in the team there. These guys, started very strongly. Mohamed Kano, the likes of Salah Al-Sheri, one of the newer players, Salim Al-Dasari, and Yasser Al-Sharani. These guys have been around for ages. These guys are actually the backbone of this team. And if they are to come out of the group like they did in 1994 when player scored that wonder goal. I can't remember his name right now, but I know the player. I reacted to him on my channel. They scored a wonder goal against Belgium. If they are to do that again, they're gonna need some big performances. But they did beat Egypt at the last World Cup, so they have a feather in their cap there. So congrats to Saudi Arabia. Hard luck to China. It's quite disappointing for China because this is a team that actually invested a lot in their club football, thinking that it's going to actually bleed over into the national team. And it didn't happen, man. It really didn't happen. I think they changed managers as well throughout this whole World Cup qualifying campaign. And it didn't really work. You know what I'm saying? Didn't work. So, yeah. China, pretty disappointing. I expect better from China, seeing that such a large populous nation and they have such, a lot of resources and everything. And I expect them to do a lot better, but very, very poor. Very, very poor indeed. And I can't even talk positively about China potentially making it for 2026 because they just might miss out on that one too. So I'm keeping it real, man. I'm keeping it real. But Saudi Arabia, definitely one of the heavyweights in Asian football, and they have made it to back-to-back World Cup. So congratulations, man. Congratulations to Saudi Arabia. Liam, you know what I mean? I'm going to use the mic and cover up your face there. You're all knocked out, you know what I mean? Opening your mouth and stuff. You know what I mean? He's not feeling 100% there, guys. So, wish Liam speedy recovery. He caught a cold. He got the sniffles. You know what I'm saying? So, he's all knocked out. He doesn't usually go to sleep this early, but he's knocked out, man. So, guys, we're going to wrap up Asia. We've been talking about Asia for 40 minutes. I can't believe it, but we have. But you got to show respect to Asia, man. Definitely got to respect all the confederations. Without a doubt. Definitely. So, the games remaining for these teams, pretty much dead rubbers in this group, seeing that Australia will make the playoffs, Saudi Arabia will qualify, and China would actually miss out. So, Australia play Saudi Arabia, and for China, their last game is against Oman. So, yeah, we're going to keep it moving. And guys, as usual, if you haven't yet liked the video, make sure you do so. Okay? We'll definitely appreciate that. So, let's actually get the final game up. And let's talk. I hate that I have to go back all the way here and do this thing all over again. I'm saying, come on, FIFA, fix the damn clunky website, man. Okay, so what is interesting about this match is that both teams changed their managers. And I didn't actually notice. I didn't caught wind of this until a couple of days ago. So I was like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Didn't really expect that. So the UAE sacked Bert van Marwijk. And for Iraq, let me just pull up the Iraq thingy there. So for Iraq, they actually sacked Petkovic, Zeljko Petkovic. They actually sacked him. You know what I'm saying? So these things happen, and I didn't even realize that they happened. So seems as if with the sacking of Zeljko Petkovic there, that Iraq are potentially turning around their World Cup qualifying fortunes. And they have actually put Abdul Ghani Shahad in charge. And he's 54 years old and he's an Iraqi national. So they got rid of the Croatian, and they brought in somebody local. Speak the language and get through to the boys, you know what I'm saying? And it seems as if it's working. For the UAE, they brought in a manager by the name of Rodolfo Arrua Barrena, and he's from Argentina. He's an Argentina former. He played for Boca Juniors, I think, back in the days. Let me just make sure I get that right. Yep. Boca Juniors, Villarreal legend. Played for Tigre, Ajax Athens, and he's managed. This is actually the first national team he's managed. Managed Boca Juniors, managed Nacional, amongst a few other clubs. And he played for the Argentina national team between 95 and 2006. He was capped 5 times. So, no Lionel Messi, but, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's been around. So, the change of manager, it didn't help the UAE, but for Iraq, it helped them. And this have put the playoff spot, up for grabs. Got to give it up to Iraq here. I think this game was played in Saudi Arabia too. So you got to give it up to Iraq, who are taking it into the final day where they need to win. They need to win. Hussein Ali with the goal in the 53rd minute, and the UAE failed to reply. Very flat performance there. Very flat. I've been very disappointed with the UAE. I think they could have actually put up a better fight. They could have put up a better fight, and they haven't. They really haven't. Their team, again, with the resources, with the riches and everything, I expect better from these teams. You see what I'm saying? I really do. But I think they lack the quality. The quality is definitely not there. There's Ali Makbout, and there's, a few other players, little no-name players here and there. Khalid Isa is back in goal. I think he wasn't in goal for the early. I think he was missing from the squad for a while, from what Khalil Ibrahim. These guys been around for a very, very long time, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah. It ain't looking good for them. Even if they get through to the playoffs and they beat Australia, I can't see this team beating their South American counterpart, opponents. I can't see that happening. I really can't see that happening. But for Iraq, let's talk Iraq a bit, man. They play Syria on the final match day. And maybe Syria won't put out their strongest 11, because in their last game, I didn't see no Omar Al-Soman, no Omar Kabin. Seems as if, those guys say, okay, since Syria didn't qualify, we don't need us anymore, right? And Syria probably play better without them anyways, right? Probably do. Because they did well in the previous rounds without them, and then, when they came in, didn't do well. Probably disrupted the squad. But for Iraq, they would fancy their chances against Syria. And it's crazy. It is crazy, right? Let me let you guys know what's crazy about this. The game will be played in the UAE, because Syria doesn't have a home and they play all over the place. Whoever would allow them to play, host, play hosts. This game will be played in the UAE. So it'll be crazy. It'll be crazy. Both games will actually be played in the UAE. The game, UAE versus Korea Republic and Syria versus Iraq. It'll be crazy if the UAE lose on home soil and Iraq goes there and beat Syria there. Damn. That'll be nuts. That'll be nuts. But I actually see something like that happening though. I do. I really do. So you got to give it up to Iraq. As I mentioned, they qualified for the World Cup in 1986. For the UAE, they qualified in 1990 and none of these teams have been back since. Let's see if any of these teams can make the cut for Qatar 2022. But then again, 2026 is definitely one to look forward to. So that'll be it. That'll be it in terms of these matches in Asia. We're going to go back here really quick, and we're going to pull this up. We're going to just pull this up and just top it off. All right? We're going to top it off right now. So we go back to round 3. Just going to take a look at the last games that's coming up in World Cup qualifiers for Asia for Qatar 2022. Touch the table really quick and then move on. So Japan play Vietnam, dead rubber to see if, but basically to see if Japan could top the group. And for Vietnam, who knows? They will look to pick up points. Maybe do better than China. Maybe. Vietnam 3 points, China 6. Vietnam with a win could surpass China, maybe. You know what I mean? I doubt it'll happen, but you never know, man. In football, look at Italy. You never know. Iran play Lebanon for the top spot again. Lebanon, outside chance of the playoffs. The UAE versus Korea Republic. Top spot for Korea Republic. UAE to seal that playoff berth to play Australia. Oman versus China. Regularity. Yeah, pretty much. Syria versus Iraq. High stakes game for Iraq. And Saudi Arabia, Australia. Just bragging rights to see if Saudi Arabia would go on to top the group. So, just to touch on the table again. Korea Republic and Iran qualifies from Group A. UAE and Iraq fighting it out for that playoff spot. Lebanon to a lesser extent. And Syria at the bottom of that group. For Group B, Japan and Saudi Arabia, first and second, they qualify for the World Cup. Australia missed a direct spot, but will qualify for the 4th round to play one of Lebanon, UAE, or Iraq. Oman coming in 4th, China 5th there right now, and Vietnam currently last in the group. So that'll do it for Asia. And we're going to keep it going, man. Big up to everybody in there. Big up to Danny A in the house. How are you doing, Danny? Azam Hamad in the house. C. Eaton. Big up to you, man. Big up to King Huddle in the house. You know what I'm saying? It used to be called Macedonia, hence the confusion. Big up to everybody in here right now. Pierre Paquette. Everybody in here, man. Mustafa, Fabio, big up to Fabio in the house, man. How are you feeling? Big up to Yaz 7 Men, everybody in here right about now. Big up, man. Hello from Macedonia, Fidan, Kominovsky. Big up to Mr. Kominovsky. Brawl Barry in the house. How are you doing, man? Everybody in here, AD, Doug, Fennec Highlights, Algerian fan in the house. How are you doing? How's everybody doing, man? How's everybody doing? So, Palomo, damn, these Lebanese fans rioted, threw glass bottles and racially abused us. And so the game was interrupted for a bit. I didn't actually watch the game because other games were going on and I didn't choose to watch this one. And the highlights didn't show none of that. So, thank you very much for bringing that up, though. I do appreciate that. Do appreciate it. So, yeah, just in between, guys, I'm gonna hit you with some some what do you call them? Some tidbits and things, some fun stuff, And I just saw this article that Keylor Navas bought 30 beds, food, and clothing to host Ukrainian refugees in his home. So, big up to Keylor Navas for humanitarian efforts there. Give it up to him. And another one, Gareth Bale has decided to retire if Wales doesn't qualify to the Qatar World Cup. So we'll definitely miss Gareth Bale there if he does retire. He should just retire from football altogether if, that's the case, right? So with that being said, guys, we're going to keep it moving and we're going to move on to the next confederation. And that's the African Confederation, where we do have the playoffs today, and we're going to touch on those. It won't take forever, but we're going to touch on those and then keep it moving as well. We got a lot to talk about for CONMEBOL, CONCACAF, UEFA. We definitely got to touch on Oceania briefly as well. Won't spend super long there, but still, we have to talk Oceania. So, look, we're currently in round 3. And the teams left are DR Congo, Morocco, Cameroon, Algeria, Mali, Tunisia, Ghana, Nigeria, and Egypt, Senegal. 10 teams remaining, scrapping it out for 5 spots. And I was able to watch 4 of these games today. The first match between Congo DR and Morocco. Then I did get a glimpse of the Cameroon, Algeria. Did not watch Mali versus Tunisia. And started watching Egypt, Senegal. And when I got home, I got to watch both Ghana and Nigeria and the Egypt-Senegal game. So I did get to watch a lot of this. And from what I didn't see, I did watch the highlights. I made sure I watch all the highlights before I come talking to you guys today. So I've seen all the goals. There's probably some good goals that I'm not talking about. Some things like players hit the post and came close and all of that. Yeah, I can't touch on everything unless I write it down. And then that's going to take 5 hours to actually go through. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk CAF, Africa, 2022 World Cup qualifiers, third round. This is the third round, right? We're in the third round. Yep, round 3, fight. So initially, I predicted Morocco, Algeria, Mali, Nigeria, and Senegal to qualify for the World Cup from Africa. Luckily for me, all 5 teams are still alive, but these are the results from the first legs. The second legs will be next week, Tuesday. All games will be played on Tuesday, and after those games, we will know the 5 teams from Africa who will qualify for the prestigious event later on this year. Okay, so let's take a look at all these matches. DR Congo 1, Morocco 1. Yohan Wissa in the 12th minute, and in the 76th minute, Tariq Tissoudali off the bench. What a tactical move by Vahid Halilhodžić to actually pull off a draw on the road with DR Congo, who qualified previously as Zaire. And when they qualified, they beat Morocco to get to the World Cup. So I think in a playoff or something like that. So yeah, just a little tidbit for your head taps there. But look, DR Congo had some really good chances in this game, and I think they would rue the fact that they didn't take all the chances and they weren't clinical enough, because it would have been a big achievement if they go into the second leg with a win, with an advantage. But the fact that Morocco got that away goal, they would fancy getting a goal on home soil and preventing DR Congo from scoring. DR Congo is still very much alive. And they do have a capable manager who, has the know-how to get to the World Cup and everything. In Hector Cooper. So who took Egypt to the World Cup in 2018. Took Egypt out of the wilderness to the World Cup. So he knows his way around a World Cup. He does. You see what I'm saying? He's been around a long time. These are vampire coaches. He's been around a long time. He would fancy their chances of going to Morocco and picking up a win or picking up a draw. To be completely honest, let me say this. I predicted Morocco to qualify, but I won't be mad at all if DR Congo makes it, just so we could have a fresh team at the World Cup. I'm really fed up with all these teams, the same old teams qualifying. So Ngonda Muzinga did get sent off in the 85th minute. I didn't actually catch that moment when he gets sent off, to be completely honest. But, insignificant because it didn't really affect the game. He would miss the second leg, of course. He received the second yellow. He was the left back. But when you look at this DR Congo team, though, not a bad team at all, guys. Not a bad team. Not a bad team. The likes of Christian Louis and Dama, Chancellor Mbemba, quality players there. You have Edo Kayembe, who plays for Watford. That's Premier League, you know what I mean? Shadrach Okolo has been around for some time. Cedric Bakambu with the quality. Mbokani, who used to play in the Premier League too, I think with Hull. Johan Wissa currently playing for Brentford, you know what I mean? So a lot of Premier League quality on show. Look, Morocco, they would be counting their lucky stars right now because Ryan Mai did get a penalty and skied the penalty, but Tariq Tissadali came on and, you know, spared his blushes there with that goal. So 1-1. 1-1 in the first leg. Morocco, of course, with a lot of quality on display. You have the likes of Romain Saiss. The ball did ricochet off his head into the back of the net. Ashraf Hakimi, Adam Massina, you know, Imran Louza. Both these guys play for Watford. You know, Watford had a lot of players in these African World Cup qualifiers, man. You're talking about the likes of A-Table playing for Nigeria. You have the likes of Emmanuel Dennis as well, you know what I mean? And probably a few names I'm missing as well. So Watford represented big time in these qualifiers. But with the quality that they have on display here, I expected better from Morocco. Wasn't a good performance at all. And they would look to improve this on home soil and book their place at Qatar 2022. I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it sweet. All the best to both teams going into the second legs. May the best team win. All right? What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know. And if you haven't yet liked the video, make sure you do so. I will definitely appreciate that, man. You guys are the real deal, man. Thanks for coming back time and time again for the content. Appreciate it. So, look, we're going to keep it moving. We got a lot to talk about, so we're just going to go back here and, of course, you know, go to round 3 and go on to the next game. Cameroon 0, Algeria 1. I don't know the exact stat, but I think Cameroon have not lost on home soil for a very, very long time, like within 90 minutes. And it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy that they lost this game. And this is a loss to an Algerian team who misfired at the last African Cup of Nations, of course. And Cameroon, who dazzled on home soil, I expected a lot better from them, but it was not a very good performance. I think Algeria, you know, they used the time between the AFCON failure and now to actually reassess things and do some introspection, look within themselves and say, hey, man, we ought to do a lot better. And they came and they did. Belaili with the free kick. Islam Slimani with the header to beat Onana. And Onana had to pull off a big save from Slimani before that as well. And Algeria were just the brighter team, you know, throughout the game in the earlier stages. So once they got that goal, you could see like their position dwindled. They didn't need to be too attacking. And it was actually Cameroon going at them, but they didn't have the quality to beat Mboli in goal. You see what I'm saying? So even though they bossed the stats, 10 shots, 4 on target, 64% of the ball, it wasn't really anything, you know, to trouble the goalkeeper like that. And I think it's a disappointing performance by the Cameroonian national team there. And I didn't predict them to qualify initially. I predicted Algeria. I never expected Algeria to go to the AFCON and flop like they did. But that's a strong performance away to Cameroon. And they would definitely fancy their chances on home soil to not lose. They just need to not lose and they're through. I think Algeria will do it. I think they'll do it. One thing, let me say this. let me say this. One thing I don't agree with. I absolutely don't agree with changing your manager at this time. Like right before a crunch game. It doesn't make any sense. And I think in Africa, the FAs, the boards, they make some dumb decisions. The sports ministers, they do get involved in the thing. And there's a lot of politics. They make some dumb decisions. And to bring in Rigobert Song and sack Tony Conceição on the eve of such an important tie is really stupid. I have to say it. It is stupid. For lack of better word, dumb and stupid. Samuel Eto'o, bro, I don't know what y'all are thinking, but you guys needed to wait until after the World Cup qualifiers to do these things. Yeah, you could make the decision and then it work. I'm not saying it can't. You know what I mean? Like if let's say you're playing in a group, right? You're playing in a group. Yeah, I know Rigobert Song was part of the setup already, right? I think he was manager of the second string team or something on one of them teams. But if you're in a group and like you only have like an outside chance to qualify still, and you said, you know what, this manager have not done a good job, let's bring in another one. And then he turned things around, something like what Turkey did by bringing in Stefan Kuntz and almost, you know what I mean, pulling it off. Not when you go into a fresh two-legged tie where a manager coming off of the AFCON did a really good job. I think he did a good job. But because he didn't win the AFCON, you sack the man or whatever the politics or whatever other reason why you sack him. You know what I'm saying? So you got to pay. You got to pay for these decisions. You really got to pay for these decisions. And look here, man, Algeria. Look, Algeria. And this is a great point here. This is the great point. Look at Jamal Belmadi. Went to the AFCON, failed miserably. Failed. Could not have failed more miserably than he did with Algeria. You know what they didn't do? They didn't sack him. They didn't sack him. And that was grounds for immediate sacking. Immediate sacking. Like, as soon as Algeria were officially out of the AFCON, Jamel Belmadi should have got sacked. It doesn't matter what you did before, but you're not good anymore. You see what I'm saying? That's how they work. That's how things work. That's how things work. I know he did really good before that, but that's how things work. And kudos to them for sticking with their man. And look, they're rewarded with an away win. Away. So big up to the boy Riyad Mahrez. You know what I mean? He didn't play that great, but did his thing still. Team effort there by Algeria. You know, defended well. Put their bodies on the line. Issa Mandi. Notable mention. You know what I'm saying? Yusuf Balaili. Ismail Benacer. Remy Ben Sibayani and co. Quality team, quality players. One of the most decked out squads in world football, Algeria. So it was very mind-boggling that they failed to do well at the AFCON. You know what I mean? But I think they'll make it to the World Cup again. I think they'll make it. I think they'll make it. So we're gonna keep it like that, and we're gonna keep it moving, man. You know what I mean? We're not gonna spend all day talking about these teams. But another thing that I have to mention, when you bring in a new manager, that manager brings his own players as well. So it messes up with the dynamic of the team. You know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, that player gotta go. That player gotta go. Let me bring in my own little player here and there. You know what I mean? Let me play. Yeah, the same bunch of players are there. But there's a few players, like, for example, where was this Tawamba guy? You see what I'm saying? He didn't play. A lot of these guys didn't play. A few of these guys I've never seen before. You see what I'm saying? So, Rigabat song, bro. I watched you at a few World Cups before in the past. Yeah, I don't know about your managerial expertise here at all. Not at all. So, we're going to keep it moving. Big up to everybody watching the stream right now. Make sure you guys like the video. Keep smashing that thumbs up button. I don't even know how many likes we got, but keep smashing it, man. Just keep smashing it. You know what I'm saying? You guys are doing a great job so far. I know you love the World Cup thing. We got 43 likes, guys. Make sure you like it. Let's get up to 50 thumbs up. And I'm pretty sure there's 7 people in here who are yet to like the video, okay? All right? So you could do better, man. Come on. Make yourself proud by liking the video. Costs nothing. Nothing at all. Not a goddamn thing. All right, a couple of you guys like the video. Thank you very much for that. Do appreciate it. And we're going to go back and we're going to keep it moving, man. Let's talk Mali, Tunisia. Let me start off by saying I did predict Mali to make the World Cup. I did. But I might actually regret that decision because what I saw from Mali there, it was not a bad performance at all. I have to say, with the mishaps that they had in the game, they bounced back. They you know what I mean? They really threatened, and I think they were unlucky not to get a point at least, you know, or a draw. I mean, from the game. But the own goal by Musa Sissoko, oh my God. Oh my God. And I saw a similar own goal in another game as well. I think that was a game in South America. The Ecuador versus Paraguay game, right? Similar own goal, back pass to the keeper, trying to play off from the back, and the Standard Liège youngster blindly passed back to the keeper with pace, and it went into the back of the net. And to make matters worse, Sissoko got sent off late in the match for pulling down the Tunisian attacker who was in on goal, and he pulled him back. Bro, you took one for the team. Look, you got to look at things this way, right? He scored the own goal, but what if he prevented the Tunisian player from scoring a second goal and Mali go away to Tunisia and score and win the game 1-0, and the game, the tie goes all the way to penalties and Mali win? You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Then you look at Musa Sissoko as a hero. So you got to look at things from different angles. You see what I'm saying? But that was quite an unfortunate match there for the young man. Sent off in the 48th minute, own goal in the 36th. Crazy. But otherwise in the game, Mali dominated with 10 shots, 1 on target, not good in the final third. Kone and, the Traores and co, didn't have their shooting boots on the day. And one notable mention that I didn't even realize playing for Mali these days is no other than Abdoulaye Doucouré. I didn't even realize that he's playing for Mali these days. Abdoulaye Doucouré of Everton plays for Mali, along with Yves Bissouma in the midfield. Amadou Haidara. This is a quality team. This is a quality team. Kone is no joke. They got close on a few occasions, but close will not qualify you for the World Cup. Tunisia, who did lose to Mali in the African Cup of Nations, right, guys? Guys, don't forget this, 1-0, and Mali did get a player sent off as well in the 87th minute. Bilal Touré in the 87th minute, and this time around, it's the inverse of the result, 1-0 to Tunisia. So, tables have turned. Is it going to be Mali's turn next time to get a positive result? Nah, it does not work like that. Things does not work like that. Tunisia, they're going to go home and they're going to put on a clinic. They're going to put on a clinic and you ain't going to beat them. Look, remember, right? Remember, I was talking about the fact that changing your manager could work for you and it could work against you. Well, in Tunisia's case, you could understand why they changed their manager, right? With Monde Kabaya, maybe they didn't actually like the way he ran things. And they feel like Tunisia could have done a lot better at the AFCON. And if they had continued with Monde Kabaya, they would have not done well. That's a thinking, right? You could look at it both ways, right? But let's say for me, I don't think Tony Conceição did such a bad job that he deserved to, that they should have moved on from him. But for Tunisia, maybe they needed to move on from Kabaya, right? See what I'm saying? So they brought in a manager by the name of Jalal Kaderi, and bam! This is where new manager magic works for you. Mali with Magasuba still in charge, but new manager Kaderi worked for Tunisia on the day. But with the help of Mali. So if you look at it from another angle, you could say that Mali beat themselves on the day. Because what if they had 11 men? What if they didn't score that own goal? It could have been a 2-0 win for Mali. I really want Mali to qualify for the World Cup. But guys, it ain't look like that's going to happen. It ain't look like that's going to happen at all. So give it up to Tunisia, man. I think they're going to make it to yet another World Cup. They're going to go to the event and not do a goddamn thing. And maybe next time again they'll qualify. That's just Tunisia for you, man. You know what I'm saying? That is just them. Naim Slitty, standout name. Yusuf Msakni, another player. I ain't see where's my boy what's his name, man? You see, they got this thing wrong right there. Kabay is not in charge of the team no more. FIFA, y'all not doing a good job at all. See what I'm saying? They're not doing a good job. They are not doing a good job. I told y'all somebody needs to get sacked from that website. Sacked. Sacked. Oh my God, man. So look. So I actually did not know that Monde Kabaya got sacked though. But big up to the boy, Football Pharaoh, my good friend. I was actually watching his live stream the other day, and he actually enlightened me to the fact that Monde Kabaya, and Tunisia parted ways. But obviously, whoever is in charge of this FIFA website does not know that. It's right there in front of your eyes. Come on, man. Somebody make a couple phone calls and get these people out of this job, because the website is very clunky and the information is not correct. You don't even have the time to put up the red card up here. That's a major event in the game. Whatever, man. So not really the best thing to use. I just like using it because it's pretty. You know what I'm saying? But it's clunky. Very clunky. So, look, all the ties are still very much open. All of them. Anything could happen when Congo DR goes to Morocco, when Cameroon goes to Algeria. Anything could happen there. Mali could turn around the tie in Tunisia. But so far, in the first 3 matches that we spoke about, the North African teams are in the driver's seat. Okay? You got to feel for the West African teams, but West and Central African teams, it's gonna be a rough ride. It's gonna be a rough ride. So in this derby here between Ghana and Nigeria, neighbors, culturally, it's a derby. Everywhere you look, it's a derby. You gotta give it up to the Black Stars of Ghana for picking up a draw against the Super Eagles of Nigeria here. I think it was a very scrappy game, not a lot of clear-cut chances. It was a few times the ball dropped nicely for Ghana, couldn't take their chances. Nigeria had, I think, the best chance in the game, couldn't take it. Good job by Walcott in goal, good save. And it's not the most entertaining game. It's not the most entertaining confederation at all. It ain't. It really ain't. You get some very dry and boring games, but the show must go on, right? It definitely must go on. And this is a game that lacked the entertainment value, but still, the stakes are high, definitely high. So Ghana dominated the stats with 10 shots at goal, 2 on target, 56% of the ball, while for Nigeria, 7 shots, 2 on target, 44% of the ball. Not the best display, as I mentioned. So you had the likes of Victor Osimhen, Kelechi Iheanacho playing right behind him. Moses Simon looked bright once again. Samuel Chukwueze, very, very star-studded team, man. Very star-studded. Leon Balogun and Chusty Kong at the back. They were big. And Ozuru, the giant, very resolute in goal. For Ghana, the hosts. I think, what's his name? Andre Ayew is suspended, right? He was actually in the stands wearing some kind of shirt with pearls and shit on it, man. I was like, God damn, you a king or something? You know what I'm saying? Looking like royalty in this BI. But there was an instance where Nigeria were awarded a penalty as well, but it was actually, overturned by VAR rightfully as well. So it would have been crazy if there was no VAR and Ghana suffered what happened against South Africa, because that was definitely not a penalty against South Africa. It should have been South Africa versus Nigeria. I'm going to put it out there. But it's Ghana. But the team doesn't look very strong, but they went out there and put out a good performance. The likes of Dennis Odoi and Daniel Amati playing defense. You see what I'm saying? Dennis Odoi plays in the second division. But otherwise, the team with Kudos and Thomas and Baba in the middle, not bad. See what I'm saying? They didn't look too bad there at all. And, of course, Afena Jayan looked bright on the day. That's a Roma kid. And Jordan Ayew, along with Ishaku up top. So, very, 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 solid team. Solid team, I think it lack a talismanic type player. Like a young Jordan Ayew, Asamoah Gyan type player. See what I'm saying? You think a John Obi Mikel type player. You see what I'm saying? And the list goes on, man. The list goes on. What's that guy name again from Chelsea again? What's his name, man? God damn. See, when you need the names ain't coming. But the likes of Ahmed Musa and Odion Igalo was on the bench for Nigeria. And these guys, they weren't used. Maybe they will be used in the second leg when things get desperate. Maybe. But the likes of Ademola Lookman and Peter Etebo, Frank Onyeka, all players currently playing their trade in the Premier League. Emmanuel Dennis came off the bench. So Premier League heavy, man. Heavy in the African World Cup qualifiers. 0-0 between these two West African giants. Let's see who will make the cut. I'm going for Nigeria, where they do hold the aces, where they play the second leg at home. Ball is in their court. And for Ghana, they would have to go against the odds, but they would definitely fancy their chances of pulling it off. They missed the last World Cup. Nigeria did so. They qualified, and this could go anyway, man. The pendulum could swing in favor of any of these teams. So we're gonna keep it moving. I actually, why didn't I click this? Didn't I click? I thought I clicked this. I thought I clicked, but I didn't need to click it anyways because there ain't no goals to talk about anyways. You know what I mean? So it's fine. It's fine. But I usually should have clicked it. But it's okay. So guys, once again, make sure you like the video. Appreciate it. We're gonna keep it moving. Egypt 1, Senegal 0. I gotta say congratulations to my boy Football Pharaoh. He do have faith in his team, and he do think that Egypt are gonna turn around the African Cup of Nations failure and qualify for the World Cup, because there's a few things that happened before, right? Football is a funny sport, and it's very poetic as well, because during those years that Egypt were very prolific with some better teams, better all-round teams, maybe not with a better player in Mohamed Salah, but with some better all-round teams that won 3 consecutive African Cup of Nations but failed to qualify for the World Cup, right? They actually qualified after losing the African Cup of Nations in 2017 against Cameroon, and Cameroon did not qualify, right? Cameroon didn't qualify. Think about it. So you could see Egypt losing the final in 2022, pardon me, but it was a 2021 AFCON. You could see them losing the final and then qualifying ahead of the team that won it, which would be crazy when you think about it. Just think about it. Just take a second and just think about it. Just think about it. Think about it. That's football for you, man. That is football for you, and that's just, how funny the game is. And in this game, Saliou Ciss, own goal in the 4th minute. Egypt out of the block really fast. For the first 20-25 minutes, it was all Egypt. Egypt looked a different team than they did at the AFCON, where they were more reserved in their style of play, and they would look to grind teams down. They were very, very direct. El Neni looked bright, Trezeguet looked bright, Salah looked bright, and Salah hitting the post there, the ball coming off the post and hitting Ciss in the back of the net. The game's only goal. I think Senegal really woke up after maybe like the first half hour of the game, and they started to dominate proceedings. But Egypt going in their shell and, just being tight-knit as a 300 were impregnable on the day. It doesn't matter who you have. Mane, Ismail Assar, Famara, Jeju, bring them come. You couldn't pass Egypt on the day. Shenari back in goal again. Abdel Momen broke his nose, still continued on. So you could just see Egypt mean business. Egypt mean business. This team is wounded. They hurt. They hurt from the African Cup of Nations loss. They're very, very hurt. And Senegal, who still have not looked at their best since the AFCON started, they have it, against them right now, where they're still in with a shout because they play the second leg, of course, at home, and they know they only need to score 1 goal to take it, into extra time and all of that. And they could still win it, but you're behind. You see what I'm saying? You're behind. And it means that you're under the most pressure. Sometimes a team that's in the lead is under a lot of pressure, but still. You see what I'm saying? Still. You get the point I'm trying to make here. You get the point I'm trying to make. Senegal, they lacked the cutting edge. They had a few chances, ball bouncing around the box, just couldn't settle. You know what I'm saying? I think player come off the bench there. I think it was Bamba Dieng. He came off the bench. He had a good chance. Mane had a couple. He blasted. You know, so they just couldn't keep their poise on the day, and it was just, you know what I mean? Were they nervous? They had chances, man. Set pieces. They just weren't clinical on the day. Or maybe the Egyptian just disrupted their rhythm. I think it's a combination of all those things. So, look, Egypt in the driver's seat here, but it's still not over. It is still not over. None of these ties are over. None of these. None. And that's what I love about it right now, because next Tuesday, it's going to be a Super Tuesday, man. It's going to be a Super Tuesday. We're going to talk about all of that. But as of now, I'm going to leave it right there. Senegal, Aliou Cissé and Senegal got it, you know, got a lot of work to do. And Egypt, look, Carlos Queiroz, who was brought in to do this exact job, to get Egypt to the World Cup, to win the AFCON, almost won the AFCON, and where he failed in not winning the AFCON, he could make amends by qualifying Egypt for back-to-back World Cups, where they did qualify in 1990 and didn't make 1990, 1934, something like that. But they didn't make it for a while. What was that? 28 years. And they could now make it to back-to-back World Cups. So, may the best teams win. And it's on. The battle is indeed hot. So, in the game between Argentina and Venezuela, it's very cagey right now. Argentina leads a 1-0. I think Nico Gonzalez scored in the first half there, and Venezuela on the road have not replied as yet. So, yeah. So, Alexis McAllister coming off the Brighton man, replaced by Angel Di Maria. Lionel Messi is playing the match as well. And Argentina have already qualified for the World Cup, where for Venezuela, they remain the only team from South America yet to make a World Cup. Awesome. So, with that being said, guys, that's what Africa looks like right now. 5 ties, well poised, and it's going to be interesting to see who wins it, right? Who wins these ties and qualify for the World Cup. I must say this. Let me say this before I move on. Guys, this ain't as clear-cut as it looks right now. We gotta have at least 2 twists. At least 2 of these ties are going to spring up a twist. 2. It cannot be like, yeah, Morocco's going to go through favorites, Algeria going to go through favorites, Tunisia favorites, Nigeria favorites, Senegal's going to turn it around favorite. No, it's not going to work like that. It ain't going to work like that. We're going to see a few twists and turns here in these World Cup qualifiers. I believe that thoroughly. I believe that. Let me know your thoughts on that as well as we move on and as we segue nicely into CONMEBOL. Yeah, baby. So, what are you guys saying in the chat right about now, man? We've been live for an hour and a half. I think we're doing a great job. Big up to the boy Ankit. Big up to Legend MK. Big up to Alistair Jeff. Very familiar name. Haven't seen you in a while. And who else we got in here right about now, man? Big up to Moderate Mappa, Elias Abdi. Who else we got? Kev, MVP Kev, man. Big up to you. Yeah, Michael Essien was the name I'm looking for, bro. Thank you very much. You know when you need these names, you can't find these names? Yeah, that's the name I was looking for. But, yeah, man, we're doing well. We're doing well in terms of the progress here. We got to talk CONMEBOL, CONCACAF, UEFA. We got to talk Oceania. Today's live stream might go on for 3 hours. It's still very early. It's only 9 p.m. I got an early start, earlier than I actually scheduled it for. So it's good. Queen City Soccer Report. Big up to you, man. How are you, man? CONMEBOL VAR was pure chaos for Uruguay versus Peru. Yeah, even with VAR, it's still controversial down in South America. Yeah, man. Let's do this. Let us continue. Let's continue. Okay, so guys, if you haven't yet liked the video, make sure you do so. We hit 50 thumbs up, which is great. I do appreciate everybody who liked the video. We are on 53. If you haven't yet liked it, smash the thumbs up button. Let's get it up to 60, okay? So, look, let's talk. We ain't gonna stay forever on South America, you know what I mean? But we got a few things to talk about, a few permutations to touch on as well. And things are going to be juicy on the final match day. Okay, so we got to talk about that. Definitely. Okay, so Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Peru, Uruguay, and Venezuela scrapping it out for 4 direct places and a playoff spot to play a team from Asia. That will be one of Australia, the UAE, Iraq, or Lebanon. Who will it be? Is it going to be Chile, Peru, or Colombia to go into the playoffs? Where we have already seen Argentina, Brazil, Ecuador, and Uruguay qualify directly for the World Cup. I'd like to take the time to congratulate both Uruguay and Ecuador for being some of the latest teams to qualify for the World Cup. And I predicted all 4 teams to make it. Who would have thought? You know what I'm saying? Way to go, Dominic. You did well for South America. Guys, the videos are on the channel. If you don't believe me, if you think I'm a lying ass, just go on the channel, check out the videos, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. You would see. I predicted these teams to qualify, even Ecuador. The 5th team I predicted to make the cut was Colombia. I think I predicted Ecuador to go through the playoffs, but they did better and qualified directly. Okay? So kudos to Ecuador, man. The resurgence, the resurrection of Ecuador. Colombia, Chile, Peru, still alive. But only one team would take that 5th place spot to play the team from Asia. Let's get into these matches. Let's go and let's scroll all the way down to these games that were played yesterday. That was yesterday, right? That was yesterday. So Uruguay 1, Peru 0. Guys, I'm going to let you know first and foremost, I watched these games. The Uruguay game, the Brazil game, but I cannot analyze these games for the life of me because I was actually watching other games as well, where we had the Jamaica El Salvador game playing. I was doing some other things. I had my boy Liam here as well. So, you know, I've been busy, man. I've been definitely busy. So it is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah, Uruguay won. So we're just gonna be going through the things, you know, the goals, and talk about, you know what I mean, a few highlights that happened in the games. But in terms of analyzing South American games, good luck. Like, there's one playing right now between Argentina and Venezuela, and it's getting really, really violent, I'm telling you, where players are attacking each other, going for the ball and firing off a punch. A punch, I'm telling you. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up, man. So, yeah. Uruguay 1, Peru 0. Georgian de Arrascaeta scoring in the 42nd minute, and this is after the post was hit. Darwin Nunez across the goal, I think Jose Maria Jimenez with the shot off the post, and the Arrascaeta to the ball first. Really good goal. Really good goal. Peru, they had their moments as well. But Uruguay, unconvincingly, to say the least, held on for the win. So, this is another instance where changing the manager works. Diego Alonso. And remember earlier, I spoke about the fact that if you have a manager, right, and he's not doing well, and you're halfway through qualifiers and you're like, you know what, man, I don't think this is going to work, and you change a manager, yeah, that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? That definitely makes sense. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We know this. So Diego Alonso coming in, and he have turned Uruguay's fortune around big time. Big time. I'm telling you about massively. We could go back to when damn, I forgot his name already, man. Oscar Tabarez was in charge of this team, and I have to find the last match that he was in charge, actually. And Oscar Tabarez was in charge when they lost 3-0 to Argentina back in October, 4-1 to Uruguay, 4-1 to Brazil, pardon me, back in October as well. That was Oscar Tabarez. And things weren't looking good. It wasn't looking good at all. It wasn't looking good at all. They played against Argentina again the following month with Oscar Tabarez in charge. That was in November. Lost the game. Well, Argentina scored again, right? They played against Bolivia, Oscar Tabarez, and lost the game. So they needed change. They sent Oscar Tabarez a nice fat ham for Christmas and said, hey man, thank you very much for the tenure. You've done a great job, 16 years or so? Oh man, Angel Di Maria, what an exquisite goal, man. Off the bench, you got to come on and chip the keeper Farinez like that. God damn. Anyways, since Diego Alonso was appointed, these are the results. 1-0 versus Paraguay, 4-1 versus Venezuela, and 1-0 versus Peru. What a change the man has made to the team, you know what I'm saying? This is absolutely brilliant. This is brilliant. You see what I'm saying? And that is when you need to change your manager. That is when. Not when you have a two-legged tie to play. You see what I'm saying? Like what some of the African managers are doing, teams are doing right now. So you got to give it up to Uruguay for patchy start and then pulling things back. And with the pedigree of players they have in the squad, you would expect them to qualify. The likes of Cáceres, he's been around for ages. Edinson Cavani. You think about Sebastian Coates, Maxi Gomez. This is quality players, right? You think about Lucas Torreira and Mateus Vecino. You think about, Nico de la Cruz, who does play in Argentina. Fernando Muslera was dropped as the number one keeper. But Suarez still playing well for the national team. Darwin Núñez is the new star right now. And I cannot. Oh, another goal for Argentina. Might be offside, but another goal. Who is this? Messi. But I cannot talk about this game without talking about that shot from Fede Valverde from way out hitting the post. Jesus Christ. That was one of the most powerful shots I've seen in a very, very long time. Another thing I must mention is how does Facundo Pelestri manage to play for for the Uruguay national team. This is not easy. It's not easy to make the Uruguay national team. How are you playing for Uruguay and you cannot even be part of the squad for Manchester United? Not even part of the squad, guys. Not part of the squad. Not even in on the squad, on the bench, nothing. Come on, man. No wonder United are failing. You got to give players like Facundo Pellistri, Amad Diallo, Traore, time on the field. You see what I'm saying? And that's how you build. Not by signing 37 and 33 and 35-year-old players. Just had to take that job at United there, you know what I'm saying? But Diego Godin and Jose Jimenez at the back there, Ronald Arroyo coming through. Team is going to go to the World Cup and they're going to give teams nightmarish type games. So, nice to see Uruguay at the World Cup. For Peru, look, it's not a bad loss in terms of the way they played and everything, but it's a bad loss because they're on the brink of not qualifying. Okay? And we're going to talk Peru a little bit. For Peru, they did qualify for the World Cup in 2018 after 36 years on the sidelines, right? 36 years. 1982, Spain. And they didn't qualify since. But Ricardo Gareca, the likes of Guerrero, Paulo Guerrero, you know, the controversial figure Paulo Guerrero, they made it. They made the cut for Russia. And they're looking to make the cut again. But they could only do that via the playoffs once again. And their final game is against Paraguay. And I think, you know, they will be at home. They will be at home. They do have 21 points. They are in the driver's seat in terms of getting that playoff spot. Because if they win, Chile, who play Uruguay, if Chile wins, and for Colombia, who plays Venezuela, if they win, it won't matter. Because Peru would have more points than them. So all Peru needs to do is to pick up a win against Paraguay. That's all they need to do. What happened the last time they met Paraguay in the World Cup qualifiers? The game finished in a 2-2 draw. That ain't going to be good enough. That is not going to be good enough. And they played Paraguay at the Copa America as well. And the game ended in a 3-3 draw. Quarterfinal with Peru winning on penalties. That ain't going to be good enough either. They have to win the game outright. They got to win it outright. And Ricardo Gareca and his boys are going to trust their talent. They're going to trust themselves to do it. Guys, it's in the balance. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. But with Paraguay coming off of a good win against Ecuador, you know what I mean? They're in their groove right now. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to beat them. But if you want to play a team, Paraguay would be a team you want to play because they've been struggling for the most part. They have 16 points. They're out, officially out. And they could look to play spoiler for Peru. It's going to be a very, very, very high-octane game. Trust that. Peru could make it. I'm not calling it right now. Maybe on Sunday or something. The game is on Tuesday. I'll call it on Sunday. Not right now. Not right now at all. So congratulations to Uruguay for making it back to the World Cup. And let's see if Peru will do the same. So let's keep it moving. Let's definitely keep it moving. And the website is actually working now in terms of coming right back to where I wanted to come. So Colombia keeping their World Cup hopes alive. Finally scoring goals. Finalmente. Okay? Scoring golazos. I know a little bit of Spanish, guys. Not much, but just a little bit. Just a wee bit to help me navigate myself out of the hood. So, before we do move on, Argentina do have 3 against Venezuela. Of course, Argentina have qualified already. Venezuela never qualified for the World Cup. And for Colombia, they scored 3 versus Bolivia. So Luis Diaz with a screamer in the 39th minute. And the man moved from Porto to Liverpool. And he has a new lease on life. He's making more money. He's attracting more women. He's creating more. He has created more enemies. And he's playing some good-ass football. And that was a good goal. And Miguel Boya came off the bench. I'm pretty sure he came off the bench, right? Yeah, he did come off the bench. And he scored along with Mateus Uribe. They did score a 4th goal through Miguel Boya, but it was deemed to be offside. So, look, for the life of me, I don't understand why this very talented Colombian team have been struggling. And I could see some changes were made with the likes of Luis Sinisterra brought in. I think he plays for Feyenoord, if I'm not mistaken. Luis Muriel, fit again, very influential in the match. Veteran Juan Cuadrado and James Rodriguez, along with the likes of a lot of changes in the back, but David Ospina, who have been shocking, to say the least, between the sticks. So, for Colombia, 3-0, man. 3-0. This is a big win. This is a big win to keep the World Cup hopes alive. But the World Cup hopes right now under Reinaldo Rueda actually hinge on the performance of Peru. They would need Peru to draw or lose their game, and for them to win their game if they are to qualify for the playoffs. That's simple as. Forget about Chile and what they do, right? Chile win, Colombia finish above Chile. But they need Paraguay to do them a solid. Maybe Paraguay are going to say we ain't doing nobody no solids. And Argentina do have a penalty, guys. No, dive. Anyways, maybe Paraguay is saying we're not doing no solids for nobody. Or maybe they will. You know what I'm saying? You never know. But for Colombia, the reason why they're in this position, guys, the reason why they're in this position is because they have been firing blanks for quite a while. And when I say blanks, I mean 1-0 loss to Argentina in February and a 1-0 loss to Peru in February. Previously, a 0-0 draw against Paraguay, a 1-0 loss to Brazil, a 0-0 draw against Ecuador, a 0-0 draw against Brazil, a 0-0 draw against Uruguay. They've been literally, and I mean literally, firing off blank shots. Blanks. And this is why they're in this position. Because all the draws that they picked up, 8 draws to be exact, 8 draws, and only Paraguay come close with 7 draws. If they only converted 2 of these draws, 2, that's it. Only 2, they would have qualified for the World Cup. Because they would have had a positive goal difference with 2 more wins, and with Peru having a minus 5 goal difference, they would have already qualified. So they have themselves to blame. It's between Peru, Colombia, and Chile, and they play their neighbors, Venezuela. And I'm going to do something for you really quick. I'm just going to hit you with some Colombia, Venezuela head-to-head. Something for you, a little extra snack for you right there, right? Colombia versus Venezuela. Neighbors. Very close. They have beaches in the Caribbean Sea, right? They have played a total of, let me get my math right, 49 games. 49 or so games. They have won 25, drawn 17, and lost 7, right? So, in the last, let's say, 10 games or so, right? For one, the last game they played against Venezuela was a 0-0 draw. Previously, in a World Cup qualifier, they won 3-0 at home. International friendly, a 0-0 draw. They haven't lost. They haven't lost since 2015 Copa America to Venezuela, where in 2013 they also lost. But what's worrying for Colombia, what's worrying indeed, guys, is from 2011 to 2021, 10 years span there, they have drawn 4 matches and lost 2 matches and have only won 3. The odds are stacked up against Colombia there, against their neighbors, Venezuela. Let me just put it out there right there for you. Put it out there right there and keep it moving. Look, I have not mentioned Bolivia. No disrespect to Bolivia, but when they play on the road, they just do not win games. And I think they put out a very, very brave performance during these World Cup qualifiers. And for 1 second, they looked as if they were going to fight for qualification. But sadly for them, they lost the last 3 games. They actually lost 4 of their last 5 games. And they had found themselves on 15 points. Imagine if they had won, let's say, 2 of those and drew 1 and lose 1. They would have been up there right now in the reckoning for qualification. They would have been there. But they play Brazil next. But that game is in La Paz. Anything could happen in La Paz. Right? But they did lose to Chile in La Paz, though. But anything could happen in La Paz. But on the road, they do not play well. So, for Bolivia, 2026 maybe, or maybe not, because South America do not have a lot of places, and it's going to be very difficult with the likes of the French teams of Chile, Paraguay, and of course Peru. Colombia now being a French team, right? So let's see what happens with Colombia. Very talented team, but they have been misfiring. Look, this one, we ain't even going to spend super long on this, but we will talk more about Chile than Brazil, because Brazil, we know what we come to expect from this team. And so, not surprisingly, I was going to say surprisingly, but not surprisingly, this Brazilian team, I think, are topping the tally that they picked up in 2018, where I think in 2018 they got 42 points from what I could recall, and they're already on 42 points with 2 games left. I think the game against Argentina might not actually happen. They might actually give Argentina that game, but I'm telling you, Brazil are outdoing themselves. They're really outdoing themselves. 41 points. They have already outdid themselves. 41 points in 2018 World Cup qualifiers, 42 points now. And the 41 points that they picked up in 2018 was actually a record. So they've broken another record. So give it up to Brazil. A big 4-0 win against Chile, who kind of started a game, okay, and kept themselves in a match up until, 44 minutes, and then Arturo Vidal had scored, but the goal got chalked off. I think after the Vinicius goal, Arturo Vidal scored. But Brazil, it's so at first, but they played themselves in the match. Neymar from the penalty spot in the 44th minute. Vinicius linking up with Anthony in the first minute of the first half extra time. Good goal, and the way he celebrated, you could see it means a lot to him, because where it looked like he would not have been even playing for Brazil or making this World Cup squad, he turned his, form around at Real Madrid, and look at what he's doing right now. He's definitely going to be at the World Cup. Coutinho came off the bench, dispatched the penalty. Richarlison off the bench, dispatched, a brilliant goal as well. Good individual goal by Richarlison. Star-studded 11. Only one player in the 11 that I'm not too familiar with is Guilherme Arana. He's 24 years old, and if you're looking for a left back, he might be a man to pick up. You know what I mean? Man City, what are you guys doing, man? We need a left back. Could be the left back right there before another team in Europe picks him up. He plays locally in Brazil. Likes of Casemiro. Lucas Paqueta is a baller. Just want to put it out there. Fred is a staple of this Brazilian team these days. But one of my favorite players these days, man, is this Ajax kid, Anthony. Ajax, man, they're going to make some money this summer because they're going to sell this kid again. Another player moved on from Ajax. Dani Alves on the bench. Likes of Fabinho, Bruno Guimaraes. Gabriel Martinelli, is nice to see him get some game time. And there's Rodrigo. These guys could get game time in the next match. Everson is a keeper who plays locally, I think. And Arthur. I actually surprised to see Arthur Melo in the squad. So Brazil was always going to win this game, in my opinion. On Brazilian soil, it's going to definitely be difficult to beat them. Big up to Tite, the manager. I've seen his name there. Big up to him. He's done a great job. Ever since, he took charge, he's done a great job. He was there 2018 World Cup, and he'll be there again in 2022. But Martin Lasarte and Chile, who look like they actually was on the up once again, their World Cup qualification status is now in limbo because of a few poor results in their last 5 games, where they have now lost 3 of their last 5. And Chile started picking up some good results, where they beat Paraguay, they beat Venezuela, they actually beat Paraguay twice during that run. So those are some good results where they had looked down and out, and they came back into contention. So give it up to them for doing that. But the squad is aged out, man. You know what I mean? The golden generation is still trying to play at high levels. You think guys like Alexis Sanchez and Arturo Vidal and Claudio Bravo, these guys are graying already. You know what I'm saying? They're not that old. They're not old because, guys, I'm 35 years old, and I do have a few gray hairs here and there, a gray beard here and there, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 gray hairs, But Claudio Bravo is like gray. You see what I'm saying? Listen, Chile is like a nursing home right about now, man. Nursing home. And definitely they're showing their age. They had moments where they could have actually come back into this match, but in the second half, Brazil just played circles around them. And it's just sad to see a team that won back-to-back Copa Americas failed to qualify in 2018, and I think they're going to fail to qualify once again for 2022. So they'll have to blood a few new youngsters and look towards 2026. C. Eaton said, Dominic, I thought you were 25. Bro, I have like 3 kids, bro. I have 3 kids. I have a wife. You know what I mean? I've been working my job for the last 10 years. How could I be 25? I know you're probably joking or something, but bro, I've been around the block. I've been around the block, man. I've been around the block. So, look, we always expected Brazil to pick up a win here. And kudos to Brazil for just, dominating South American World Cup qualifiers once again. So, for Chile, It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. They're going to depend on other results, and you never want to depend on other results at all. See what I'm saying? Same old names: Eduardo Vargas, Sanchez, Aranguiz, Vidal, Mauricio Isla. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Gary Medel. Like, come on, man. These guys, come on. Chile did not prepare themselves. They really didn't. Like, we didn't see names like Arana and Paqueta and Anthony and Vinicius 4 years ago for Brazil. These guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, Brazil prepare. They prepare. They blood new talent. They transition nicely. Whereas for Chile, they have not. So, congrats to Brazil. Qualifying for the World Cup once again. Hard luck to Chile. So, for Paraguay versus Ecuador. Insignificant result, to say the least, just for bragging rights. But Paraguay played Ecuador off the park here. Robert Morales in the 10th minute. And then that hilarious own goal by Piero Hinsapi in first half extra time. And then Miguel Almiron in the 54th minute. Jordi Caicedo came off the bench and looked good. Hit the post. He scored a penalty. And, you know, a late cameo there by the big striker. But Paraguay had already won the game. But it was insignificant because Ecuador, it looked like if the players after the loss was so disappointed, they didn't even realize that they had qualified. And I was looking at the game and I saw some substitutes. I didn't watch the whole game. I tuned in towards the end to see if they were actually going to celebrate, even though they lost. And they weren't even celebrating. I think they didn't even know about what happened around the grounds and they had qualified. But, you know, you got to give him a lot of credit, though. You got to give Ecuador a lot of credit. They have been going through a rebuilding phase. They changed their badge. They changed a lot of things in their setup. Brought in a new manager, and they have Gustavo Alfaro in charge right now. And they change a lot of the personnel. A lot of youngsters in this team. A lot of youngsters, man. You have Jeremy Sarmiento, a youngster from Brighton. I don't know a lot of these guys. I'm not going to act like I know a lot of these guys. But you have the likes of, I don't see Moses Caicedo didn't play this game, but Pervis Estupinian doing very, very well with Villarreal. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of good players here. Ena Valencia, the veteran, is still around. But congratulations to Ecuador, man. Even though they lost the game, they have qualified for the World Cup. Again. Kudos to Ecuador. Really, really, really good World Cup qualifying campaign. They had some rough patches where sometimes it seems like, yeah, they weren't going to qualify. But they actually pulled through. They pulled through. You got to give it to them, man. You got to give it to them. So for Ecuador, the last time they were at the World Cup was in 2014. They actually qualified with 25 points along with Chile, Colombia, and Argentina. For Uruguay, they advanced through the playoffs and they beat Jordan 5-0 on aggregate. Okay, so just a little info for you. The last time Ecuador qualified for the World Cup. And during that World Cup qualifying phase, Venezuela finished 6th. 5 points behind Uruguay. I think that might be one of the closest they came to qualifying for the event. So, you know, just going down memory lane there and giving you guys some context. So, yeah, Paraguay, you know, you got to feel for them. They had moments where they looked as if, you know, they could do something, but altogether, another failure. Hey. Come, baby, come. What happened? Come on. You okay? You look a bit disoriented. You okay? I know. Come. I know. Sit down. Come, give me a hug. I know. I know, very good. You want a little love. I know, I know. I know. You want some water? Drink some water. No, you don't want no water. Okay, okay. You don't have to be so rough, bro. You don't have to be so rough. But for Paraguay, guys, for Paraguay, they last made it to the World Cup in 2010, where they did pretty good. They got 33 points, only 1 point behind Brazil. So it's been a while since they made it to the World Cup, but yeah, I think their golden age is way beyond them, and it would take a lot for them to get back to the World Cup. In 2018, they came very, very close, but they lost to Venezuela in the final match there, and that actually hampered their chances. So, yeah. Okay, come to Didi. Come. I'm busy. I'm doing something, and you need to stay here with me so I can finish off what I'm doing, okay? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, baby? All right, so we're going to keep it moving, guys. We're definitely going to keep it moving. We got one more game to talk about for South America here, and that's Argentina 3, Venezuela none. And that's the game I was just watching while I wasn't really watching it too much, but it was playing in the background. So Argentina have already qualified. Nico Gonzalez in the 34th, Angel Di Maria in the 79th off the bench, and Messi with a scrappy goal. I think that was a right-footed goal in the 82nd minute to win the game and to solidify their place second in the table for CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers. What do you want? You want some food? I got food. You want some? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? You want to go play? Go. You want to play? Go. There you go. What do you want? 1 second, guys. Give me a second. What do you want? What do you want? Why did you wake up in the first place? What do you want? Okay. Yeah, so Argentina, guys, never any doubt that they would actually qualify for the World Cup, really. You know, since Scaloni took charge, he went on to win the Copa America. And even though Italy won the Euros but failed to qualify for the World Cup, I don't think Argentina would have done the same. Don't do that. I don't think they would have done the same at all. Look, you see? You're on the screen right there. You see? That is live. Don't do anything crazy, okay? Just chill. You didn't even sleep for so long. You didn't. We still got a lot to talk about, okay? So chill. You want some juice? Maybe I need to get him some juice, guys. I need to get him. Okay, let me help you over here. Come. All right, did he help you? Okay, come, sit down and relax. Okay, come. All right, come, baby, come. Doing a little daddy duties there, guys. But I think Argentina. I'm gonna go as far as to say Argentina is one of the teams that you have to watch very, very closely at the World Cup, and I think they could actually win it. They could actually win the World Cup, guys. Argentina can actually win the World Cup. Give me 1 second, guys. What do you want? What do you want? Come, show me. Show me. Let me get you something. I'm going to get him a snack, guys. I'll be back. Let me get you a snack. Come on. What do you want? Let's get you a snack. Okay. Calm down. Let's get you a snack. I'll be back, guys. We got to talk you up. I'll be right there, guys, right there. All right, do apologize for that, guys. Do apologize for that, but we got to Patrick Milner who says juice rocks. But yeah, I'm on daddy duties, you know what I'm saying? And you got to do what you have to do. So, and we got to talk World Cup qualifiers as well. So, multitasking, of course. So, Argentina, man, really, really good World Cup qualifying campaign. They are still unbeaten. They do have 5 draws in the mix there, but overall, along with Brazil, they have been one of the best teams in World Cup qualifiers all throughout the world. No losses. Not many teams could say that they didn't lose during World Cup qualifiers. Even Denmark end up losing a game. So Brazil, Argentina, quite supreme in South America. Copa America champions, of course, in Argentina, and they have arguably the best player in the world in Lionel Messi, even though he's not doing well at PSG right now in terms of the team. And I don't know if he's going to win the Ballon d'Or this year. Who knows? Argentina, you know what I mean, with the right leadership, will always do well. Always, always. Always. So, congratulations to Argentina on qualifying for yet another World Cup. And I expect them to do very, very well. And I repeat, I think Argentina could actually win the World Cup. I'm going to go as far as to say that they could win the World Cup. Okay? And I don't know if I'm, wrong for saying that. But I think they could win the World Cup. They won it in 1978, won it in 1986, and 2022 could be another year where they pull it off. So that'll be it for South America, guys. That's it for South America. Appreciate everybody in here right about now supporting the thing. And let's just take a look at the table really quick. This is what it looks like. Brazil, Argentina qualified at the top there, top 2. Ecuador in 3rd. They're not guaranteed to finish 3rd, but they have qualified mathematically already. Uruguay 4th, qualified automatically as well. And the only spot up for grabs right now is the playoff spot, 5th, where the winner will face one of Australia, Lebanon, the UAE, or Iraq. That's what it's looking like. And I fancy one of these teams to qualify, beating the team from Asia. Australia is not beating none of these teams this time around. I'm sorry. But from the Australian team that I was looking at, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. So, Peru, it looks like they're going to do it again. They play Paraguay. Colombia play Venezuela. And for Chile, they have Uruguay, where I don't think they're going to even pick up a win there. So it's pretty much a wrap for Chile. And Colombia, they screw themselves. They will be hoping that Paraguay gets something against Peru and they defeat Venezuela. And then that's the only way Colombia would end up in the playoffs. So that's what it's looking like there. We have Paraguay, Bolivia, and Venezuela not in contention anymore. So what we're going to do really quick, guys, is take a look at what's going on in Oceania. It's not going to take too long, but we have some Oceania games going on right now. And not going to go deep into the matches or anything, but we have some games here. So not much information on the website here, as you guys could see. So I might have to pull it up. Yeah, nothing really on the website. Not, FIFA is not even put anything on the website. They don't have no respect at all for the OFC. None whatsoever. So OFC World Cup qualifying. We're gonna pull that up, and I'm gonna share it on another page, and we're gonna take a look at what's going on in the OFC briefly, because there's one team that goes into the playoffs. So this is what's going on for the OFC World Cup qualifiers. And we're going to scroll back where Tonga was supposed to play the Cook Islands, but Tonga was dealing with a volcanic eruption the last time I checked, right? Was it Tonga? I think it was Tonga. So that qualification round was cancelled. And then with the Cook Islands versus Solomon Islands, I think the Cook Islands ended up having a COVID issue. And there was something with Vanuatu ended up having the COVID issue as well and had to pull out. You see what I'm saying? So you could see Tahiti not playing a game there, but the New Zealand beat Papua New Guinea 1-0. Fiji beat New Caledonia 0-0. And all these teams are in the same group. Look, let's take a look at this group right here. Group A, completely affected big time by the whole COVID situation, but Group B went ahead as planned. So New Zealand and Papua New Guinea ends up qualifying from Group B. I predicted Fiji and New Zealand, but Fiji, they didn't make it. New Caledonia lost all 3 games, right? But it's the mess that happened in Group A. And FIFA rejigged Oceania World Cup qualifiers after withdrawals due to COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? Like, FIFA forced to restructure Oceania World Cup qualifiers after COVID-19 restrictions. We're going to take a look at the article from ESPN because the article here from the Athletic might be behind a paywall sometimes, and you're not going to really go into that right there. So FIFA have changed the format of the World Cup qualification tournament for the Oceania region after the Cook Islands and Vanuatu withdrew due to cases of COVID-19 that affected their national teams. World Football's governing body said on Wednesday. Both the Cook Islands and Vanuatu are in Group A, but FIFA said all matches involving the 2 teams shall be deemed to not have not taken place. That leaves the other 2 teams in the group, Solomon Islands and Tahiti, to play their fixture on Thursday, which will be considered a single playoff match to determine the winner and the runner-up from Group A. If the match ends in a draw, they will play extra time and go to penalties if needed. New Zealand have already advanced from Group B with Papua New Guinea and Fiji level on 3 points each, but we know now that it's Papua New Guinea move on, and they come in second. Oceania, which does not have an automatic spot at the World Cup, is staging a mini tournament in Doha, Qatar to decide which team advances to an intercontinental playoff for a place at the finals, where they will, of course, where the winners of the March 17 to 30 competition will face the 4th place team from the CONCACAF region, which features sides from North and Central America and the Caribbean. So that's what's going on there. And in terms of the Oceania qualifying there, let's go back. Let's actually go back there and the matches. So look, let's just run through the matches right now, and we could see that Papua New Guinea, well, let's go back here. New Zealand beat Papua New Guinea. Let's give it the respect and just read out the goal scorers. Ben Wayne in the 75th minute, the only goal in that game. And big up to my boy Football Ferrer. He said that this game was pretty tight, so give it up to Papua New Guinea. Fiji 2, New Caledonia 1. In this game, Nalaubu in the 11th, Jordan Wetria in the 78th, and Nalubu again in the 89th. A win for Fiji. Now, of course, inconsequential. So, of course, the games from Group A canceled there. Papua New Guinea 1, New Caledonia 0, with Tommy Semi scoring in the 8th minute, and a red card here by Jean-Luc Decoré, the 88th minute. We go back. New Zealand beat Fiji 4-0. We had Chris Wood. Oh, man. Chris Wood with a brace, 45th, 73rd. Elijah Just in the 71st. And Clayton Lewis, a penalty in the 93rd minute. And Fiji rather lackluster in the mini tournament there. So we go down to match day 3. And the game here between Tahiti and the Solomon Islands ended in a 3-0 win for the Solomon Islands, which meant that the Solomon Islands ended up topping that group. You see what I'm saying? You see, according to the reneged tournament. So in this game, Rafael Leayi Jr., however you say his name, scored a hat-trick. 20th, 52nd, and 95th minute. Alvin Tehau scored in the 26th minute for Tahiti. Just talking about Solomon Islands and Tahiti makes me want to visit these places, man. You see what I mean? Nice drink with the little umbrella in there on the beach. You know what I'm saying? With my wife in a bikini and thing like that. God damn. That'll be nice. Let me get my mind off of that right now, man. Making me want to go on a vacation. So, New Zealand beat New Caledonia 7-0. Alex Grieve with a brace, 8th and 45th minute. Logan Rogerson, 35th minute. Andre De Jong, 74th minute. Bill Tuiloma in the 81st. And Chris Wood popping up with a brace, getting the practice for when he goes back to Newcastle United. Jean-Philippe Saiko scored in the 13th minute for New Caledonia. Could you guys believe it? New Caledonia actually equalized and then copped 6 after that. So, very one-sided confederation. Maybe New Zealand, you know, they would remain in the confederation because it's going to be a free spot going forward unless one of these teams actually really develop to a point where they compete. And Fiji lost to Papua New Guinea a 2-goal with Mr. Warane Valu scoring in the 12th minute, then getting sent off in the 42nd. And then Ati Kepo in the 45th minute and Tommy Seni again on the score sheet in the 63rd. I know this girl from Fiji, you know. I know, you know, we met on Facebook. I don't remember how we met, but I know somebody from Fiji, though. I would love to go to Fiji one day. So, with that being said, the semifinals are set up between the Solomon Islands and Papua New Guinea. And we have one between New Zealand and Tahiti. New Zealand versus Tahiti, guys. Oh, how one-sided. How one-sided. I think it's going to be a game between Papua New Guinea and New Zealand, where the first match between these two teams were very, very tight. So we could actually see that happening again. We could see that happening again. And it would be nice to see Papua New Guinea, let's say Papua New Guinea defeat New Zealand and go in to the playoffs to play Costa Rica and pull off an upset. Papua New Guinea at the World Cup. That'd be crazy. That'd be one of the best World Cup stories of all time, man. So, look, New Zealand's head-to-head over Tahiti, guys. Tahiti, New Zealand. These teams have met each other on 18 occasions. New Zealand actually lost twice to Tahiti in 1980 and 1995. And they drew to Tahiti twice in 2007. International friendlies, 0-0. Their biggest victory over Tahiti was a 10-0 win back in 2004. And the last time they played them was in 2012. They won the game 3-0. So they have got the better of Tahiti for the most part. But can't take these teams lightly, man. You can't. In one-off cup matches, you can't take them lightly. So that's what's going on in Oceania right there. Look, New Zealand's going to come through that. New Zealand's going to come through. So big up to Mr. Topu here. How are you doing? I've been to the Cook Islands. Yeah, dream come true, man. I would love to go to one of those islands one day. It could happen. It's not hard. It ain't hard. It ain't hard at all. Big up to the Match Channel. Big up to you indeed. Fun fact about Fiji. Mariap of Jamaica could have also played for Fiji because of his father. Wow. Did not know that. Didn't know that at all. So, guys, because we are strapped for time, what we're going to do is we're going to go back. Let's go back. I think we could go back, right? If we go back, I think if we go back here, I would actually get back to the FIFA website. All right. Sometimes I'm like paranoid. I might go back. I might press the back button and end up on, a porn site or something. You know what I mean? Don't want to spoil anybody here. You know what I mean? I'm just joking, guys. But you never know. You never know, man. You never know. You know what I'm saying? So, look. Let's go back here and, guys, let's talk CONCACAF. And then we're going to wrap things up with UEFA. For CONCACAF, I've already made a whole 40-minute video talking about CONCACAF. 40 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the results. And if you guys want to hear more about CONCACAF, you're going to have to check that video. If you came here for CONCACAF and you want to hear me talk about CONCACAF for the next 1 hour, I can't do it. Big up to Jennifer Lee as well. A team could beat New Zealand, or COVID could strike New Zealand, but I think New Zealand is the only team with a small chance to be the fourth place CONCACAF team. Indeed, big up to you, big up to Princey TV, big up to everybody in here right about now. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Look, let's start CONCACAF, man. Let's run through what happened here on match day 12, and then we're going to keep it moving, okay? So no need to stay here forever and talk CONCACAF when I have a whole video living on the channel that I made this morning. No need. We got to talk Europe. And I also spoke about Europe already. So we land in the plane right now. We land in the plane. I've been live for 2.5 hours. God damn. 2.5 hours. My little boy, he's up now. And thank God, he's up in the on the stairs. We're in the basement, so he's on the stairs just chilling, watching his tablet. I took his tablet away from him for the last 2 days. So, you know what I mean? He's happy about having that back right now. I'm going to cut down his tablet time, but he's going to, get to watch a little, YouTube or whatever he watches on there today. So he got his snack and he's good. So let's not push our luck too much and go on for an hour about CONCACAF when I have the damn video on the channel, okay? So Jamaica won, El Salvador won. So let's just click on that really quick. Andre Gray and Eric Zavaleta, the goal scorers in the game. I think Jamaica were definitely much improved and would have fancied their chances of beating at least El Salvador, but failed to do so. Let's give it up to Hugo Perez and El Salvador for the brave work that they did during the World Cup qualifiers. But they themselves, even though they did not lose this game, would be disappointed because a win would have kept them just alive. But they stood no chance of even making the playoffs. They stood no chance. They have to look for 2026, and so too Jamaica. They actually sat their manager, Tapper Whitmore, after Tapper Whitmore started picking up points, which was kind of baffling to me. You should have sacked him earlier. This is a situation where when sacking a manager goes wrong, because this is the only point that Paul Hall have picked up in 4 games in charge. You see what I'm saying? So Jamaica did look bright in the game. You have the likes of Leon Bailey coming back. Greg Lay have looked bright. Richard King is a breath of fresh air at the back, of course. Javane Brown looks very, very spirited. And they actually blood a new youngster by the name of Daniel Green. So, Andre Gray got on the score sheet. That's a positive. But I think Jamaica should have won the game. They hit the post on a few occasions as well. They could have done a lot better. But look. A lot of positives. They have a player by the name here of Asfaroy Bygrave. Never heard of him. Ramon Howell. So you could see they're giving opportunities to a few players. The thing about Jamaica, they got some weird last names. Like, what's up with some of these last names? But they do mix up with a lot of different nationalities because, Jamaicans are everywhere, man. And them Jamaican guys like to think they're gallus, So, you know what it is. Like, you hear someone telling me about about Mariappa and the Fijian. Like, come on. Anyways, but his father's Fijian, but his mom too. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, man. Look, brave stuff by El Salvador. Gotta give him credit. Jamaica, very, very disappointed in the way they played during World Cup qualifiers because before the format changed with the hexagonal, I think Jamaica were actually looking really good to fight. Like out of 6 teams, I think Jamaica could have actually gotten at least the playoff spot. At least. They were basically ahead of Canada. They were ahead of Honduras in terms of their chances. So they were there basically behind Costa Rica, the USA, and Mexico because of the performances in the Gold Cup and, just some recent performances, but they have basically fallen by the wayside. So, look, Jamaica, El Salvador out. Jamaica will play Canada in the next game. El Salvador will play against Costa Rica. So, I think both teams are going to lose their games. And for Costa Rica, they're going to solidify that spot in the playoffs, and we'll be hoping that the USA get a hiccup and they could actually topple the USA and qualify ahead of them. But I think the USA should qualify even if they get into the playoffs, though. So, they will face New Zealand, but you can't take New Zealand lightly. So, yeah, that's what's up. Jamaica 8 points, El Salvador 10 points. So Jamaica had an opportunity to go past El Salvador, but failed to do so. So we're definitely going to keep it moving, guys. As I said, there's a video that's on the channel where I go more in depth. So I don't intend to go super in depth right about now. And I do apologize for that. Don't want you bouncing all over the place, but I made that video for a reason, to give CONCACAF region some special treatment, okay? So Panama 1, Honduras 1. Panama, this is a big opportunity missed. Scored in the 23rd minute, but give up the lead in the 65th minute. Kevin Lopez, Rolando Blackburn on the score sheet. I think Thomas Christensen have done a great job with this team, but he might just come up short because of the resurgence of Costa Rica. Honduras, very poor, very poor. Still yet to win a game in World Cup qualifiers. And I think World Cup qualifiers will actually end without Honduras winning a single game. They sat their manager Fabian Coita, brought in Hernan Dario Gomez, the former Panamanian and Colombian. I think he managed a few other teams. And that's where sacking a manager goes wrong as well, where the new manager come in and doesn't do a goddamn thing. But Panama, who came through the playoffs, the preliminary round, beat Curacao. They didn't look too good back then, but they're very inconsistent. And I think this draw here could actually cost Panama big time. Still in with a shout for the playoffs, but I have to say it ain't looking good, seeing that Costa Rica are playing so well. And Panama, they got to play the USA and Canada. Tough fixtures. While for Costa Rica, they do have El Salvador and the USA, where I think they might get 4 to 6 points from those games, while for Panama they might get 1 the most, or 2. Let's not be too harsh, maybe 2, but they ain't winning none of those games in my opinion. And even if they get 6, they won't finish above Costa Rica. The USA, they just need 3 points against Panama and they good. That's what's up for the USA. But we're going to keep it moving. Definitely going to keep it moving, guys, because I want to get into the European matches, of course. I want to get a complete roundup of all the World Cup qualifying games before this live stream ends. So let's not linger too much. We still got 2 games to touch on here. So, and this is just touching on the games. So just touch on the games because I said, I've been telling you guys, I made a video on the channel, okay? So Mexico 0, the USA 0. Look, for Mexico, this will be like a loss at the Azteca in front of 50,000+ fans, and you don't beat the USA, you don't score a goal. You see what I'm saying? Very, very disappointing performance if you're a Mexican fan. But for the USA, this would be big. This is a big point. Going to the Azteca, not losing 4 games in a row. Failing to, not fail. 4 games in a row, unbeaten against Mexico is not a fail. That's a big achievement where the USA now hold the aces in the CONCACAF region. So kudos to Greg and his boys, but they're still not out the deep end. They're not out of the deep end. They're not out because the USA got 22 points in second. Mexico got 22 points in third. But you have a team by the name of Costa Rica on your heels. Let's say Costa Rica win their 2 remaining games. And if the USA does not beat Panama, and the USA in a very, very difficult position right now. Very difficult. Let's say the USA lose both games. They lose both games. They would have to pray that Canada, their neighbors, get something against Panama. Because if the USA lose both games, they could still make the playoffs. But they will need Panama to win and draw. Well, Panama will beat the USA and draw to Canada. But if Panama win both their games and Costa Rica win both their games, then you know what it means. You know what it means. It means the USA will not qualify for the World Cup. And yes, just exactly what you're saying here. The USA lose both their games. They don't qualify for the World Cup unless Canada beat Panama or pick up a draw against Panama. Because if the USA lose, they won't lose by a big margin. I think the USA will find at least a playoff spot. I think they'll be fine. But it's a good achievement picking up that point against Mexico. But for Mexico, not impressive at all. Not impressive whatsoever. But they still manage to be in a good position to qualify for the World Cup. I think they'll qualify. I think the USA will qualify. I think Canada will qualify. And I think Costa Rica will go into... Costa Rica might make the cut directly. But let's say they go into the playoffs. Costa Rica's qualifying without a doubt. With the way Keylor Navas is playing right now, with the way they're playing right now, they're not missing out. And I'm going to leave that one right there. Give it up to the USA. You know what I mean? It wasn't an easy game, but they went there and they created some good chances. They could have won this game. No Weston McKennie, and, you know, that's a big miss. No Dest, but they rallied. The next game will be tricky. Yedlin and Weah suspended. Ricardo Pepi, you got to step your game up. Big time. I don't know what it is, man. Ever since he came on the scene, on the national scene, and he banged him in for fun against Honduras there, I don't know what happened, man. He got to move to Augsburg, and then I don't know, man. It's all in the head, Pepe. Get out of your head, Pepe. Get out of your head, man. And start scoring goals again. So we're going to leave that one right there. Guys, check the video on the channel. It goes in depth. Not going to go in depth right now. And I want to get to Europe. I definitely want to get to Europe. And the last one, and the reason why I want to get to Europe, I advertise Europe, you know what I'm saying? I advertise talking about Italy, so we got to talk Italy. We definitely. But let's give it up to Costa Rica. Clap, 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 Costa Rica. The Ticos for actually picking up a victory against Canada. The first and only team to do so during World Cup qualifiers. Give it up to Costa Rica. Give it up to Luis Fernando Suarez and the likes of the veterans, Brian Ruiz, Joel Campbell, Celso Bohez. You have the likes of Keylor Navas, of course, Kendall Waston, Kesha Fuller, and co. You want more names? Francisco Calvo has been around a long time. Ronald Matarrita. This team was actually criticized for being old, for being slow, and we saw that when they lost those games against the USA and Canada. But that was a wake-up call. Okay? That was the wake-up call that Costa Rica needed. That kick in the ass, that's what they needed to turn their fortunes around. Because, and in those games, guess who wasn't there? Yeah, Keylor Navas played against the USA, but it was like, you know what I mean? There was some games he wasn't playing. Like Moreira played the game against Canada, you know what I'm saying? The game against Honduras in November, Keylor Navas came back. And Keylor Navas, since that win against Honduras in November, after the losses against the USA and Canada, in the last, and I mentioned this in the video. 1-0 against Canada, 1-0 against Jamaica, 0-0 against Mexico, and 1-0 against Panama. That's 4 matches, 4 clean sheets. 4 clean sheets, 3 goals scored. They don't score a lot of goals, but they don't concede a lot either on when Keylor Navas is focused and in the goal and not, worrying about his club, who's, representing his club. You see what I'm saying? So you got to give it to Keylor Navas. I think he's the man that's making things tick for the Tickos. Quality performance against Canada to get the win. But I think Canada were quite unfortunate here to go down to 10 men. And they conceded a good goal. That was a good goal scored by Celso Borges. Very good goal. But Canada created some big chances, man. Some big chances, and were very, very unlucky not to score. 18 shots, 3 on target, 68% of the ball. But it just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. So you got to give it up to Costa Rica for getting the job done at the end of the day and picking up a massive, massive 3 points. So we're going to leave that one right there. For Costa Rica, they do have the USA and El Salvador. They will beat El Salvador, in my opinion. And the game on the final match day, coming next Wednesday, 9 p.m. local time, will be a decider. It could be a potential, according to how the Panama USA game go. This could be a, let's say the USA draw to Panama. Let's say the USA draw to Panama. This could be a potential decider for who makes the World Cup directly. Bring it on. For Canada, they play Jamaica next. I think they'll beat Jamaica, and that would actually, I think, guarantee them top spot in the octagonal, and definitely mathematically seal their place at the World Cup. Congratulations in advance to Canada. They'll make it. Let's not talk mathematically anymore. Canada will make it. Big up to the boy Rafael Valentim, who's been around for a very, very long time, man. How are you, man? How are you doing? Ethan Murray, C. Eaton. Ivan Yu, how are you, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Conspiracy theory at play. USA will qualify. Qatar and the USA are allies, unlike 4 years ago. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I think the USA will make it, though. They will make it. But, guys, that's what's going on in CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. Check. Really? Really, dude? Really, dude? And you're going to put this on my head as a hat? Okay. All right. Look. You can go. Yeah, okay, go. Go back and play on the stairs. Go. Wait. Daddy not done. Go here. I know. Go. Oh man, kids. Look. I'm gonna wear it on my head. Okay. God damn, I'm gonna wear it on my head, man. Okay. Oh God. Make me gotta show off my baldy like that. God damn. But anyways, guys, let's get into Europe. Let's get into Europe before my son just completely destroy the live stream, okay? So European World Cup qualifiers, Pats A, B, and C. Okay, so we know that Poland, who was actually supposed to play Russia, and Russia was banned again for invading Ukraine. Poland would play Sweden after getting a bye into Path B final. Sweden defeated the Czech Republic after extra time. We're going to get into that game. For Portugal, they defeated Turkey, and they will play North Macedonia, who defeated Italy. For Wales, who got the better of Austria within 90 minutes, they will play the winner of the Ukraine versus Scotland game. That game will be hosted by Scotland, okay? So, yeah. Liam, okay, I'm doing something, bro. Okay, I'm doing something. You could, okay, you could go. Don't make me have to, do not make, okay. Go, baby, go. Do I have to take this away? Do I have to take this away from you again? Come here. Come here. I'm doing something. You need to go back here and you need to chill right here. Right here. I want you to stay here. Okay? Stay here. Okay? God damn, guys. Don't have kids. Don't have kids, guys. You regret it. Look, throws a truck down the stairs. Trust me, you regret it, guys. Don't take advice from me, but I'm just saying. Not recommended, man. Not recommended. I love the kids, but I don't know, man. I don't know. But if you love the kids, why you keep having them? You know what I'm saying? So, look, 10 teams remaining, of course, going into the playoffs. But now there's only 6 left. Well, there's actually, what? There's, how many left? There's, 7 left. 7 teams left, fighting for 3 remaining spots. And we're going to know these results next week. So let's just touch on the matches where Scotland was supposed to play Ukraine, but that game is postponed. Wales defeated Austria 2-1. I think I should actually pull up the UEFA website, man, and stop using this clunky website. So let's pull up the UEFA website and not use this website anymore. And let's go European qualifiers right there. All right. Now we're in business. Results. Let me see. Knockout rounds, playoffs. All right. Now we're looking better. Now we're looking much better there. So, Scotland, Ukraine, postponed. Wales, Austria. Let's just click on that right there and see Wales, Austria. Well, we're not going to get anything from that. Let's click the results right here. Wales versus Austria. Let's talk about this result briefly. And in this game, Gareth Bale in the 25th minute. What a free kick by Gareth Bale. What a free kick. Wales have not qualified for the World Cup since 1958, where they made it in a very weird fashion. We're not going to get into that. But guys, look up how Wales qualified for the 1958 World Cup. It's going to be fun. Bale again in the 51st. Why this kid? Why is this? You see, that's why I have to take the tablet away from him, because it's crazy and weird behaviors like this. I'm doing an experiment right now because of why you stomping on the steps. I don't know. I think he's doing it on purpose. But Bale with another very good goal in the 51st minute, and then Marcel Sabitzer in the 65th minute, where Austria did have their chances, where Baumgartner had a clear opportunity, and I think he hit the post. They had opportunities and they failed to capitalize on their opportunities. But Frank Foda and his boys are out of World Cup qualifying now, and it's Robert Page and Wales along with Gareth Bale, who move on. When you take a look at this Wales 11, it's a quality 11. It's a quality 11 with players that we all know. Gareth Bale, Dan James, Nico Williams, Aaron Ramsey, Joe Allen, Harry Wilson, Connor Roberts, Ben Davies, Joe Rodon, and Ethan Ampadu. Wayne Hennessy, we know these players. We know these players. You see what I'm saying? So it's a quality team. And I think if they make it to the World Cup, it won't be a fluke. They will play one of Scotland or Ukraine. And Wales will be hosting that game as well. Let's just go back here and we can see the fixtures coming up. Wales would host this game. And from what I checked, they have a very good record at home. I would love to see Wales make it back to the World Cup. And look, Ukraine, no disrespect to Ukraine, no disrespect to Scotland, but Wales look a more exciting team than those other teams right now, man. Seriously. I would love to see Gareth Bale at the World Cup putting in a brilliant free kick like he did against Austria. Let me just put that one out there right now. Let me just put it out there, man. So I want to actually see. Let me go as far. It would be a nice story if Ukraine qualified for the World Cup after what they've been dealing with. But I want to see Scotland versus Wales. I want to see Scotland versus Wales here. I'm gonna just say that and leave it at that. I want to see Scotland versus Wales. But you got to give it to Robert Page for taking over from Mr. Wife Beater, Ryan Giggs, who thinks he could actually beat up his girlfriend and get away with it in 2020, 2021, whenever he did it. You know what I'm saying? But your past do catch up on you, you know what I'm saying? When you could mess around with your brother's woman for so long and think you're going to get away with it, you know what I mean? Things do catch up on you, man. It's called karma. But we're not going to get into the domestic affairs too much of former Manchester United player Ryan Giggs. Let's continue talking about these ties because I don't have much time either. So, Sweden won, Czech Republic 0 after extra time. This is not a game that I actually saw, but I did catch the back end of this match where Robin Quaison scored in the 110th minute, set up there by Alexander Isak. Good 1-2 between the two players and a toe poke pass the Czech Republic goalkeeper to give Sweden a place into the final here of their playoff path, where they would go on to play Poland. This is not going to be an easy game at all. This is not going to be an easy game against Poland. And Jan Andersen, you got to give it to him. This kid right, you're ridiculous. And when I'm done with this, I'm taking the tablet away from you and you're not getting it back for a week. Because no need for you to be doing what you're doing right now. I'm telling you, I'm running an experiment, guys. Tablet, whether it have a bad influence on him or not. And from what I've seen, it does have a bad influence on him because you have no reason to be throwing things down the stairs. See what I'm saying? Ridiculous, man. Can't do anything. Cannot do anything unless this kid is sleeping. But anyways, this is reality TV. I'm live, guys. So things like that is going to happen. Hello. Get out of here with this little baby bum thing. Go. Go. Come here. Go. Come, let me show you something. You could go and play over here. All right, we got rid of him for a little second there. So, yeah. Sweden. They should have never been in this position here because they had the group to qualify ahead of Spain. This should have been Spain scrapping it out with the likes of the Czech Republic and Poland. But now they find themselves in the playoffs. But I have a feeling that they actually relish these kinds of situations, right? They want to do things the hard way, like they did in 2018 by knocking out Italy. And look, I could see them doing it again. Poland would host this, but Poland is pretty much a one-man team. Sorry, Polish fans, but you handle Robert Lewandowski, you win the tie. You win the game. You see what I'm saying? So that's the key to winning that game, by handling Robert Lewandowski. Sweden, they got enough firepower to win that game. A lot of yellow cards here. I'm not 100% sure who would actually miss the final. Not going to get too deep into that now. I'm talking team and as a team. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking Sweden as a unit, not getting too much into the individuals, because, you know, they didn't play with Zlatan, and it worked. And Football Fair and I talked about this. We talked about this. Not even on the bench. Great. You take Zlatan out the team and you do well. Got to give it to Ilanga. He's come through at Manchester United. Quaison coming off the bench, getting the job done. You got to give it to Kulusevski, doing well at Spurs. And Isak looks like, you know what I mean, definitely one for the future, you know what I mean, of Sweden. You could see Zlatan there. Zlatan was actually somewhere around. Maybe a consultation role, maybe, you know what I mean? I don't know, but they should just keep him right there. That's where he should be, in my opinion. Big up to Emil Forsberg, one of their better players as well. So congrats to Sweden. They move on to the final to play against Poland. I do fancy Sweden, and I do fancy Wales in the two paths that we've talked about so far. So look, as I mentioned, Scotland will play Ukraine in a future date. Not going to get into that too much, but both that one, it could go anyway. But Scotland at home would fancy their chances winning that one. The big one, the elephant in the room, guys. Italy 0, North Macedonia 1. And I did go through my comments, and someone actually mentioned that North Macedonia picked up a draw back in the 2018 World Cup qualifying cycle against Italy. And I did not remember this, but they lost the first game but picked up a draw in the second game, which is absolutely crazy when you think about it, because maybe I knew about this, but it's because of North Macedonia. I didn't really pay any attention to the result back in the day, because they were not the powerhouses that they are becoming. You know what I'm saying? They were not that good, really. They, you know what I'm saying? They just made it to their first Euros. But maybe that was a sign of things to come for North Macedonia, because this is a mammoth achievement. Making the Euros and beating Germany recently as well, and then beating Italy 1-0 in Italy. And the player, Tchaikovsky, who scored the goal, used to play at that stadium for Palermo. I actually saw a highlight reel on Reddit. They showed a bunch of goals he scored from the same exact spot for Palermo against other visiting teams, which is very, very weird when you think about it. So what he did there, he had done it many times before. Very, very crazy, man. Poetic stuff. But North Macedonia, hats off to you, man. Hats off to you. Hats off. I can't remember the coach. I could never remember the coach name, but Blagoja Milevski. Hats off. Hats off. And you could see where I got the thumbnail, the picture for the thumbnail right here, man. La Gazzetta dello Sport took the front page, the back page, front page, whatever, you know, and put it up on the thumbnail. Look, Raspadori looked bright off the bench. I got to say that from the get-go. But for the most part, the team looked toothless. I think they underestimated North Macedonia, because if you have Chiellini on the bench, if he's not fully fit, I don't care. You're playing. You're playing. This is a crunch game. You're playing. And the fact that Chiellini didn't play, it just shows that Mancini and Italy underestimated the hell out of North Macedonia. We take a look at this 11 here. I would have put Acerbi and Chiellini at the back. That's who would have played. That's who would have played for me. Chiesa is a big miss. Domenico Berardi, he should never play for the national team again. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going too hard. But a lot of players won't ever play for the national team again. Just like in 2018, when a lot of players have not represented Italy since then, after Ventura and his guys failed to qualify. You see what I'm saying? But I think Mancini got it wrong big time. Look, where is Mose Ken? Maybe a youngster like Mose Ken with the pace and everything was needed up top with the vigor and the youth. You see what I'm saying? He got it wrong big time. But you got to give it to North Macedonia for pulling this off, man. You got to give it to them. I never expected this to happen. I know we may have talked about what if, you know what I mean? We mentioned that one of Portugal or Italy won't qualify. One of them won't qualify, right? But there's a situation where both of them might not qualify. You see what I'm saying? Simply because of North Macedonia. Minnows years ago, but now they're giant killers. And they have to be shown the respect. Like, how are you going to get 32 shots? 32 shots. 5 on target. 66% of the ball. And you lose. Typical Manchester City performance, if you ask me. Macedonia with 4 shots, 2 on target, 34% of the ball, but wins the game in the 2nd minute of extra time. No Ilif Elmas either. Absolutely fantastic. What a story. If you're an Italian fan, it is not fantastic, but it's a great story if you're a North Macedonian fan. Or, as they would say, they would correct us and say, Macedonian fan. Give it up to North Macedonia, man. They will play Portugal in the final. And for Italy, I don't know, man. I don't know where you go from here, because after winning the Euros, it's set up for you nicely. You're at home. You're not on the road. You're not on neutral ground, but you're at home and you lose the game. You lose. You didn't even take it to extra time, but you lose. You lose. Not good enough. Not good enough. They will make it for 2026. Maybe. Remember, UEFA does not have a lot more teams making the cut. I think they go up to what, about 16? So Italy could miss the World Cup again in 2026. It's crazy how a former champion, such a powerhouse in world football, missed consecutive World Cups. But you also have to look way back in 2006. After they won that World Cup in 2006, just take a look at what happened in 2010. They got knocked out in the group stages. Think about what happened in 2014. Guys, look, listen, man, listen. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of, hindsight to just see things. You know what I mean? Just use hindsight and just look back and you say, oh, whoa. You see what I'm saying? Whoa. Italy came in 3rd in Group D, 2014. Brazil got knocked out as well in 2010 after winning the World. So you won a World Cup, failed to make it out the group in the next 2 World Cups, and then you failed to make the World Cup altogether in the next 2. Italy are in a sad state. They're in a sad state. And on top of that, you won the Euros. You can't be here right now playing this thing, okay? You can't. I need you to leave. And if you want to play this, go. Come on. You can't be here playing this right now. Go back. Go. Who sent you? Go. Thank you very much. Look, okay, go. Go. At least he's being obedient and going, you know. Go. Go. We got to talk Portugal. Okay, thank you. He sat down. All right, guys. I do apologize for my son, but come on, guys. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. Look. Let's move on though. Let us move on. Let us move on. I did put out a video on the channel talking about Italy and their failure. So go check that one out too. That's a quick fire reaction as well. But I just wanted to touch on this again right now. So just to wrap things up, guys, next time I do go live, I make sure he's not up, but he did wake up prematurely as well. So yeah. Portugal, Turkey. Portugal 3, Turkey 1. Otavio in the 15th minute after Bernardo's shot came off the post, and Diego Jota in the 42nd minute set up by Otavio. But with Portugal, I'm going to take this away. I'm going to take it away from you. Okay? You're not listening. Go outside and play it. Okay, sit down there. Come here. I'll be back, guys. Sit down there. All right, let's finish things off, guys. I do apologize, but let's finish things off. Yeah, phone is alarming here. Life is a mess right now, guys, right? Screen is flickering. God damn. Anyways, so great start by Portugal. And we're probably watching this game saying, wow, Fernando Santos and Portugal are playing some great football. You know, he's not playing that defensive style of football anymore. They go out there, they took the game to Turkey, and they're 2-0 up. Like, God damn, Portugal are on fire. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is the Portugal that we want to see. This is the Portugal that we expect to see with the star-studded lineup and everything. This is what Fernando Santos is supposed to be doing all the time. This is the tactics he's supposed to implement. And then you know what? In the second half, Turkey could have come back in the game. They had some chances in the first half where if they were more clinical, they would have gotten a couple goals, right? But with the Burak Yilmaz goal, linking up with Cengiz Under, oh man, it didn't look good for the Portuguese defense at all. They carved apart that defense. Came back in the game at 2-1. And then Burak Yilmaz having the opportunity with that penalty to make it 2-2. Potentially taking it to extra time or even getting a third to knock Portugal out. Burak Yilmaz, of all people, skied that penalty. It was never meant to be for Turkey. Never. Never meant to be. I think under Sinal Gunish, they looked good at first and then they fell by the wayside, of course, after the Euros. And Stefan Kuntz came in, former German national team player, been to the World Cup before and everything. Very successful at the youth level. And I think he came in and steadied the ship pretty good. You know what I'm saying? To get them this far, he steadied the ship, right? And it would have been a big achievement if they would have knocked out Portugal. They almost did it. Almost, but almost ain't good enough. Almost ain't good enough at all. It ain't good enough. And Mateus Nunes came off the bench. I think that was actually his debut, or either his competitive debut or his debut. He came off the bench and scored. But Portugal, after being 2-0 up, almost relinquished a 2-0 lead. Almost. And that's disappointing. And that's worrying. Coming up against a North Macedonia. Look, Portugal might just go and blow North Macedonia out the park. You know what I'm saying? They might just go there and destroy them. Or it might be a game where, like the match against Italy, where North Macedonia stay in the game for the entire 90 minutes and get an opportunity and score. I think Ilif Elmas will be available again, and they do have some talented players in the team, man. You have experience of Ariana Demi. You have the likes of Aliovsky and Ristovsky, and you know what I mean. They have guys who you know got the know-how. Tchaikovsky, who scored a goal against Italy. So you can't. You have Ines Badi, one of the more talented youngsters in the team as well. You can't write North Macedonia off. Not against a very shaky Portuguese team. You see what I'm saying? With their defense have no Pepe. Or even if they had Pepe, it will be a 78-year-old defense of Pepe and Jose Font. No Ruben Diaz, and you have makeshift defenders at the back in Danilo Pereira. But with Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, the likes of Diego Jota and Bruno Fernandes, look, it's going to be hard to beat this Portuguese team. I think Portugal are qualifying for the World Cup. But if North Macedonia manage to pull off the unthinkable and defeat Portugal, I don't know, man. I don't know. That'll be one of the biggest upsets to knock both Italy and Portugal out to qualify. North Macedonia would then announce themselves as a team that we have to take serious, really serious going forward. We had Iceland in 2018. Are we going to have a fairy tale in North Macedonia for 2022? Guys, I'm going to leave it right there. It's been a testing day. We've been live for 3 hours, 17 minutes. My son is acting up. You know what I mean? And it's late. Guys, let me tell you something, man. Cherish your freedom, man. If you ain't got no kids right now, don't rush to go get no damn kids, man. I'm just gonna let you know that, man. Children are the future. I love kids. I have 3 of my own. But god damn. Oh, this little boy of mine, man. God damn. The girls are fine, man. The girls, I got a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old. They're fine, man. They were always fine. You could do whatever with them. But this boy, man, I don't know if he's like me when I was small. I don't know if that's the way I was when I was small. I don't know what it is, man. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Uncontrollable. Let's put it out there. Uncontrollable is the best way to sum it up. Best way. So, look, I'm about to get up out of here. It's late. Got to go pick up my wife from work as well. I got work in the morning. I've been up all day. And I just wanted to talk World Cup qualifiers with you guys, man. It doesn't matter if the whole thing wasn't that smooth. At least I got it done. And you guys understand I'm a real person. I'm a human. And, you know, I'm not a single man or a man that neglects his family just to do videos or whatnot, you know. So, yeah. But anyways, man, and not to knock anybody who does either. Anyways, guys, it's been real. It's been real nice chatting with you guys. We covered all confederations: Oceania, CONCACAF, CONMEBOL, AFC, UEFA, and Africa, along with Asia, of course. A lot of confederations, though. You see what I'm saying? And I'll come back. When do we have World Cup qualifiers again? I'll come back maybe Sunday. We have World Cup. We don't have any World Cup qualifiers tomorrow, right? We don't. I don't think we do. Be Sunday for World Cup qualifiers. I will come back tomorrow. We're gonna do predictions tomorrow. I'll work on some predictions tomorrow, and we're gonna do a prediction live stream tomorrow, and hopefully I'll get it done before Liam wakes up. Okay, so guys, until my next live stream, which is gonna be tomorrow, I promised. I do appreciate you tuning in. Like the video if you haven't yet done so. I gotta go tend to Liam right now. And until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. Peace. Peace, guys. Much love, much respect, okay?